will now have a roll call vote to establish a quorum. Will the aldermen please make sure to unmute their microphones as the clerk calls the roll. Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Mayor. Alderman La Spada.
Here.
Alderman Hopkins.
Present.
Alderman Dow.
Here.
Alderman King.
Present.
Alderman Hairston.
Present.
Alderman Sawyer.
Here.
Alderman Mitchell.
Here.
Alderman Harris.
Here.
Alderman Beal.
Yep.
Alderman Zalowski Garza.
Here.
Alderman Thompson.
Here.
Alderman Cardenas. Alderman Quinn.
Here.
Alderman Burke.
Present.
Alderman Lopez.
Here.
Alderman Coleman.
Present.
Alderman Moore.
Present.
Alderman Curtis.
Here.
Alderman O'Shea.
Here.
Alderman Taylor.
Here.
Alderman Brookins.
Present.
Alderman Rodriguez.
Present.
Alderman Tabarez.
Present.
Alderman Scott.
Present.
Alderman Cicho Lopez.
Present.
Alderman Maldonado.
Here.
Alderman Burnett.
Present.
Alderman Irvin.
Welcome back and present.
Hey, Alderman. Alderman Taliaferro.
Present.
Alderman Raboyes.
Been waiting to say this. Present, Madam Clerk.
I've missed it. Thank you. Alderman Cardona.
Present.
Alderman Wagaspack.
Here.
Alderman Rodriguez Sanchez.
Presente.
Alderman Austin. Alderman Ramirez Rosa.
Present.
Alderman Villegas.
Present.
Alderman Mitts.
Alderman Mitts is present.
All right. Alderman Sposato.
Here.
Alderman Nugent.
Here.
Alderman Vasquez.
Here.
Alderman Napolitano.
Present.
Alderman Riley.
Present.
Alderman Smith.
Present.
Alderman Tunney.
Present.
Alderman Gardner.
Present.
Alderman Cappleman.
Present.
Alderman Martin.
Present.
Alderman Osterman.
Present.
Alderman Haddon.
Present.
Alderman Silverstein.
Present.
Peter, do you have the roll count?
Your Honor, there are 48 members present.
Your Honor, we have a quorum present.
Based upon the roll call, the Madam Clerk has indicated that we have a quorum. We will now have the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise. Pledge of Allegiance
To the
to the
flag
flag
of the
of the
United
United
States of America.
And to
To the republic
For which it stands,
stands
one nation,
nation
under God,
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with
liberty and
justice for all.
justice for all.
Members, please remain standing. As we have the invocation, which will be delivered by Pastor Isaac Rosario of Marantha, USA. And can I also add members of the City Council and the Clerk's Office? Please, as you pray, remember the victims of the shootings, certainly last night, but every night. There are too many people in our city that have faced tremendous trauma, and we need to make sure that we reach out to them and remember them in our prayers. Pastor?
Father God, we just give you thanks for this day. We thank you
for all those that are represented here. We thank you for the city clerk, Ana Valencia, and our mayor, Lightfoot, and all of those other government officials that are leading our great nation. Father God, we give you thanks because counsel and sound judgment are mine, and I have insight, I have power. By my king's reign and rulers issue decree that are just. Proverbs chapter 8, verse 14 through 15. Father God, we give you thanks for your presence in this day. We thank you for your protection over every government official, every decision that is being made in this day. I pray for sound judgment. I pray for peace. I pray for peace in our city. Father God, I just ask you right now, Lord, that you help every family that has been going through very tough times with the loss of loved ones. We pray that you give strength to everyone that is connected at this moment, Lord, that is feeling that heaviness upon their life. We pray for the peace of God to come upon them, and we pray for greater understanding upon their life to know what is needed for tomorrow. Father God, we know that you are the only one that knows the future, the present, and the future and the past, Father God. And Father, we just pray that you just continue to lead us so that we may be able to just hold on to you and see that you are our strength and you will continue to take us further. Father, we give you thanks for our great city of Chicago, and we thank you because our city will rise up, and our city will rise up and be a blessing to our city and to everyone that is in need in this time. In the name of Jesus, amen. Amen.
Amen. Nice job, Rev.
Pleasure.
Amen. Thank you.
President,
This time we will have public comment. Madam Clerk.
the council will now begin the public comment period, which is limited to a maximum of 30 minutes. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. Any written comments that have been submitted will be posted and made available for aldermanic review. Our first speaker for today is Ms. Emma C. Perez.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Emma Caridad Perez. I'm part of the team behind the Citizens Police Data Project, which is a tool that allows people to look up officers' misconduct histories. It is an archive of misconduct and abuse by the CPD. I'm also part of the legal team that filed an amicus curiae brief on behalf of 40 community, journalism, and data science organizations in FOP versus City of Chicago. I asked the council to reject the settlement in its current form in Green versus City of Chicago, or defer the vote to find a solution that compensates Mr. Green and releases the records. As someone who frequently reads, requests, and processes complaint registers and their underlying documents, I can attest to the inaccessibility of the process. Corporation Counsel suggested to the Finance Committee on Monday that members of the public can continue to make FOIA requests regardless of the outcome in this particular case. The truth is, the average person does not have an idea where to begin when it comes to FOIA. Filing a request requires knowing what data the CPD maintains in the first place, and it often entails significant back and forth with the FOIA office, including following up with them when they miss deadlines. Corporation Counsel said that people can still request all complaints for Officer X, for example, but my requests for investigative files on particular officers are routinely denied on grounds of undue burden because the officer has so many complaints. There is a better way. Without requiring citizens to file individual FOIA requests, the city should make public the entire body of closed police misconduct files on a rolling basis, having redacted personal information. Releasing the documents responsive to Mr. Green's request provides the perfect opportunity for the city to operationalize transparency. It is crucial that we have access to complaint register numbers and their underlying documents in all cases, even in seemingly minor violations. In our work, we found that many complaints that are miscategorized. For example, an allegation that should be categorized as criminal sexual misconduct will be categorized as illegal search because the sexual assault occurred in the course of an illegal search by an officer. I've encountered countless complaints like that, and I would not have been alerted to the more serious underlying misconduct had it not been for the documents in that case. These records should be accessible to the public. In Calvin versus City of Chicago, an appellate court found that police misconduct files belong to the public. And just last month, the Illinois Supreme Court recognized the commanding and compelling public interest in accessing police misconduct files in FOP versus City of Chicago. The records belong to the public, and now they need to be accessed. This opportunity for proactive and operationalized transparency should be of highest priority to the city. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Perez. Our next speaker is Ms. Sandy Schumiller.
Hello. Good morning, Madam Mayor, City Council members. My name is Sandy Schneller. Just a side note, Madam Mayor, you are doing a good job during these tumultuous times in our city. Keep with your stride, and these residents, many of them, will continue to believe in you as I do. Thank you on that. Are you aware there are no national curriculum standards for teaching Black history in America? Worse yet, only a handful of states have laws requiring Black history be taught in public schools, including Illinois, Arkansas, Florida, New York, and Mississippi. Now, of those states teaching such curriculum, there are no standard parts of Black history to be incorporated for learning to bring about a robust education as to where we came from and how we evolved to bring about an understanding of why we are in predicaments of today. On March 4th, an amendment to the Illinois House Bill 4954 brings attention to this teaching anomaly, requiring all schools in Illinois to teach K through 12 Black history beyond slavery. Now, it's a great thing to bring about this awareness across the education divide in our state. However, it is not enough to know our contributions to America when we have not been educated on the before and how we came to America. As a former educator and in association with Chicago voters, we say this is not enough. We ask that the 1619 project become integrated into curriculum platform to model teaching throughout our state and eventually our country. Now, some state officials are already moaning about the lack of resources and funding to amend current state's ill-enforced curriculum. We witnessed how funding quickly became available for COVID pandemic. Educating our children on truth is a pandemic. Instituting the 1619 project and curriculum is a start to unraveling the truths about this country and how it was built on slavocracy, not democracy. Black people have seen the worst of America, and yet somehow we still believe in its best. We were told by virtue of our bondage that we could never be American. But it was by this virtue of our bondage that we became the most American of all. 1619 project. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Schmeller. Our next speaker is Ms. Amara Zaxer.
Hi. Hi, my name is Amira Zafer. I actually live in Chicago, and now I moved to the suburbs of Northwest. India is going to celebrate the 74th Independence Day on August 15, 2020 from the British. Both Trump and Prime Minister Modi have acted to undergo fundamental freedom, human rights, and secularism. In December 2019, the Indian Parliament passed the discriminatory CAA, which created an unconstitutional religion-based system to grant citizenship to selected immigrants. National Register of Citizenship is a governmental process by which to verify citizenship to the Indians. Millions of peaceful protesters of CAA and NRC across India and around the world have marched for the peace. I just want to quote something Mr. Senator Sanders said. Over 200 million Muslims call India home. Widespread anti-Muslim mob violence have killed at least 27 and injured many more. Trump responded to this. That's up to India. This is a failure of leadership on human rights, quote. We also marched in Chicago, peaceful marching and protest in front of the Indian consulate. Again, thank you so much for listening to me. Bye.
Thank you, Ms. Zaxer. Our next speaker is Mr. Aaron Gottlieb.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Aaron Gottlieb, and I live in the 46th Ward, where I organize with One North Side on police accountability. I'm also a professor at UIT, where I teach and conduct research on the criminal legal system. Since the murder of George Floyd, cities across the country have taken steps to transform policing. One notable exception is Chicago. This is incredibly disappointing because Chicago has a transformative ordinance that is ready to be passed now, the GAPA ordinance. GAPA is transformative because it gives power to the community. GAPA will create the only democratic community commission to oversee police in the country. This means that the community commission will be able to draft and pass new policies that help communities and veto CPD efforts that make policing more punitive. The community commission will also have approval authority over who is named police superintendent, COPA chief, and police board members. In short, the community will now have say over who polices it and who handles police misconduct. Moreover, GAPA is grounded in and driven by the community. Each Chicago resident will have 3 elected district council representatives from their police district that they can bring issues to. These district council members will then work with community members, the local police district, and the community commission to address concerns. So you may be wondering, why hasn't the GAPA ordinance passed yet? The answer is that the mayor's office has fought to water the ordinance down, and GAPA has been unwilling to pass an ordinance that is not transformative. This should come to you as a surprise. During her campaign, a key part of Mayor Lightfoot's platform was her support for GAPA and her commitment to getting it passed during her first 100 days. Many of you have also likely seen the mayor on national TV railing against police unions and the Trump administration. But actions matter much more than empty words. Instead of recognizing the importance of this moment and responding with urgent and bold action, Mayor Lightfoot has supported efforts to increase arrests as a way to promote public safety, a failed tactic from the past. I urge the mayor and city council to pass GAPA. Without an ordinance that has strong community oversight, police will continue to harm community members, and there will be little we can do about it. Police misconduct is pervasive. In the most recent 4-year period with data, the number of civilians that have been killed by police is 10 times greater than the number of police who have been killed by civilians. 10 times greater. And let's be clear, there should be no deaths. This type of unconstitutional policing has implications even beyond the horrible cost to individuals and families who have lost a loved one. If the city continues to fund and encourage policing that is undemocratic instead of funding resources the community needs, we will continue to distrust the police and we will not be able to effectively reduce crime. I urge the mayor to seize the moment and do something historic. Let's pass a strong GAPA ordinance now. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gottlieb. Our next speaker is Lane Boren.
Hello. Hello, Alderman. Again, my name is Lane Boren. My wife and I own Pocket Puppies in Chicago and have been in Chicago for the past 15 years. Pocket Puppies has 20 employees. We're a Better Business Bureau member with an A+ rating and have been awarded the Complaint-Free Award for the past 5 years from the Better Business Bureau. We have thousands of happy customers. We have placed puppies and adult dogs into loving homes and enjoy receiving pictures of them as they grow. I'm speaking today in opposition to the Alderman Hopkins Ordinance 2020-2827. This ordinance will effectively close Pocket Puppies as well as the other 2 remaining family-run pet shops in Chicago, forcing nearly 50 people to lose their jobs during a time when our city and nation face the highest unemployment in our nation's history. This ordinance was submitted to the Health and Human Services Committee, and during the hearing, those that opposed the ordinance were not able to testify. Opponents such as the Chicago Veterinary Association, the Illinois State Veterinary Medical Association, and the National American Veterinary Medical Association, as well as the American Kennel Club, the Federation of Dog Club Owners, the Pet Industry Joint Advisory Council, and more. An opposition coalition that represents just about every veterinarian and small breeder club in the city, state, and yes, even nationwide. Chairman Sawyer quickly realized the error and afforded these groups an opportunity to present their concerns to the committee members via a separate Zoom call. And we're thankful to Chairman Sawyer and Alderman Cardona for taking the time to listen. They heard from veterinarians how this proposed ordinance has zero impact on animal welfare by breeders and will have no impact on reducing puppy mills. They heard this ordinance will actually make the problem worse by removing the only regulated source of purchasing a pet, the only source that offers protections to consumers that pet shops give. Further, this ordinance will force any family that owns a female dog capable of breeding to make a choice, either obtain a license as an animal care facility or surrender the animals to a rescue. The ordinance's premise is also to close a supposed loophole that doesn't exist. The 200 rescues in Chicago source their dogs from the same source as the 3 remaining pet shops in Chicago. These rescues, however, are repeatedly buying from unregulated breeders that have violations. We do not. It is these rescues that are supporting substandard breeding. As the Illinois State Veterinary Association stated, if you pass the Hopkins ordinance, you're deregulating, not regulating dog breeding. And that hurts the dogs we care so much about. I ask the mayor and this honorable city council to vote against this bill and allow the American Kennel Club.
Thank you,
the
Mr.
Illinois.
Moran. However, your time has expired. Our next speaker is Mr. Jermaine During.
Good morning to Mayor Lori Lightfoot and members of Chicago City Council. My name is Jermaine and I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I moved to Chicago 2 years ago to pursue my MA in Sustainable Urban Development at DePaul University. While at DePaul, I was able to expand on my interests around community, economic, and transportation development. I learned about the history of urban planning in a city like Chicago and how very intentional planning strategies are to look at when examining the current state of our city today. Currently, I work at Active Transportation Alliance, where I'm a bus organizing fellow. I have been surveying Chicagoans on their experiences during COVID-19 and more recently, the CTA citywide shutdown. Our goal with these findings are to bring attention and impactful solutions to communities facing the toughest burden from transit inequity or knee-jerk decisions. As you all work to develop the 2021 Chicago budget, Active Transportation Alliance is advocating for a rollout of 10 miles of bus lanes before the end of 2020. This should be part of a COVID-19 response to make essential workers' commutes as safe, fast, and reliable as possible. The data shows that primarily Black and brown people on the west and south sides are the ones who continue to take transit, specifically buses on the west and south sides, during the height of the pandemic and continuing through the phases of reopening. We need bus lanes now to keep people healthy and safe on their commutes. The mayor and city council should work with Chicago Department of Transportation and Chicago Transit Authority to implement 10 miles of bus lanes before the end of 2020 and the funding and construction of 20 additional miles by end of 2020, as well as mask distributions for all transit riders. Universal mask wearing is the easiest and best way to ensure a safe environment for the hundreds of thousands of people still taking transit every single day. CTA should expand upon the Travel Healthy Kit giveaway program and find ways to ensure every rider has a mask with support from the city. Along with reliability of bus service, which requires investment and action from you all, the next key to equity is affordability. Active Trans would like to enact fair fares, making transit free for youth under 19 who qualify for free, reduced lunch, and reduced for low-income individuals. Around 20% of riders make less than $20,000 a year, which in turn makes them spend 6% of their income on transportation. A 50% fare discount could potentially save some $630 a year. Busing to and from school is not available in every district, and not all students attend schools nearest them. Charging youth and essentially adding another barrier to accessing education, after school activities, doctor appointments, etc., is incredibly harmful. With regards to safety on transit, CTA has a contract with CPD for $10 million per year to patrol CTA. There was a recent police shooting on CTA after the mayor announced an increased police presence back in March. Police accountability is a slow and broken process, and the time has passed to where alternative methods of—
Thank you, Mr. During. However, your time has expired. Our next speaker is Doran Furman.
Oh, hello. Thank you. Good morning, Mayor Lightfoot and esteemed members of the Chicago City Council. My name is Dorian Furman, and I'm one of the co-founders of Parents Against Vaping E-Cigarettes. We started PAVE in 2018 as a grassroots response to the predatory behavior of e-cigarettes and vaping companies like Juul Then and Puff Bar Now that target teens. In April of 2018, we discovered that Juul had sent a representative into our son's unsuspecting high school to tell ninth graders when the teachers left the room that the company's wildly popular e-cigarette was, quote, totally safe. We and our kids testified about this in Congress. But what began as three moms sitting around a kitchen table has turned into a national grassroots movement of parents, including many here in the Chicago area, who won't stand by and let these e-cigarette companies and vape shops target our kids. Data from the 2019 National Youth Tobacco Survey shows that youth e-cigarette epidemic is raging. E-cigarette use among high school students rose 135% over 2 years to 1 in 4 high schoolers using e-cigarettes. 5.3 million teens are vaping, many suffering from severe addiction to the enormous amounts of nicotine contained in e-cigarettes. Over 90% of kids who vape use a flavored product. The data is also clear that vaping has serious negative impacts on children's long-term health. E-cigarettes contain enormous amounts of nicotine that can cause anxiety, depression, mood disorders, and permanent cognitive change to an adolescent's developing brain, create pathways for further addiction. And then there is harm to our kids' precious developing lungs. And it's even more essential that we protect our kids' respiratory health during the pandemic. During the COVID stay-at-home order, we received emails from parents around Illinois upset that local vape shops were illegally delivering vaping products to teens who are quarantined at home. The federal regulations on e-cigarettes and vaping products do not prevent kids from accessing flavored e-cigarettes. They leave menthol, pod system like Juul on the market, but also open tank systems whose flavored juices will be used to refill other systems, and thousands of disposable flavored e-cigarette products. These disposable devices are teen favorites. They are cheap and come in a variety of flavors. And just Monday, FDA sent a warning letter demanding that Puff Bar, the latest teen favorite and the most egregious of these brands, stop illegally marketing and selling its product. But in the absence of cohesive federal guidelines, and until states and cities like Chicago ban all flavored e-cigarette products, we will simply be playing an endless game of whack-a-mole. It is more important than ever that major cities like Chicago lead by example and ban all flavored e-cigarettes and tobacco products. That must include menthol cigarettes, left on the market in 2009 when all other flavored cigarettes were banned. The African American Tobacco Control Leadership Council and its many partners have been calling for a ban on menthol for years because big tobacco has used menthol cigarettes to target African American families for generations. We hope that the great city of Chicago
Thank you,
will.
Ms. Berman. However, your time has expired. Our next speaker is Ms. Amy Falk.
Good morning, Mayor Lightfoot and council members. My name is Amy Falk, and I'm a resident of Lincoln Park and live in a building closest to General Iron. I'm echoing the calls from thousands of North and South Side residents to keep General Iron shut down during this pandemic. General Iron is a serial polluter that has run roughshod over this council and the mayor's office dating back to the Daley administration. General Iron has been caught breaking environmental rules by city, state, and federal agencies with no consequences. In May, it had 2 massive explosions that literally shook our houses. Despite this environmentally negative occurrence, the city has rolled out the red carpet for it to reopen. Reopen, really? So what's with this special treatment? It's simple. They have bought off the city. General Iron contributes to aldermen like it's a sport. Is this the leadership your voters expect? I'm thinking not. What's crazier is that many of these pay-to-play benefactors are in leadership positions within your administration, Mayor. I invite you to ask your Finance Committee Chairman, the Government and Ethics Chairman, and even your Environmental Committee Chairman about their donations from General Iron, and consider the conflict of interest this creates in the minds of your residents who look to their leadership to make decisions in their best interest. Declining General Iron donations will go far with your voters to restore the regulations with all of you as their leaders. Mayor, how is it that the person you've appointed to be in charge of the advancing sound environmental policy for the city has literally taken tens of thousands of dollars from these serial polluters, including General Iron? And the corruption isn't even hidden, it's blatant, it's in plain sight. We all see the contributions, and your voters have caught on. And adding insult to injury, we see General Iron lobbying the mayor's law and public health department. How crazy is that? Now we see the city fast tracking to get General Iron back up and running on the north side and then relocate to the southeast side. We don't have to look to the White House for racism. We have environmental racism happening right here in Chicago. At a time when we've closed everything from nail salons to bars, now twice, why is the city letting this business reopen? I appreciate Alderman Lespada and Hopkins for supporting our citizens' ordinance to keep General Iron shut down until we can get through this challenging time in our lives. We are still waiting for 48 others to show leadership on this issue. I can only hope that the city ushers General Iron down to the 10th Ward and that Alderman Garza and our fellow
Thank you,
Chicago.
Ms. Falk. However, your time has expired. Our next speaker is Mr. Daniel Adams.
Good morning, Mayor Lightfoot and members of the Chicago City Council. My name is Daniel Adams. I'm a lifelong Chicago resident and manage residential properties in the Palmer Square, Logan Square, and Avondale neighborhoods. I'm speaking out against the Fair Notice Ordinance, which quite ironically wasn't given notice to the public until after it had passed committee. The vast majority of Chicago's housing providers are like myself, those who manage 2 and 3 flats or even up to courtyard buildings. They hire locally, buy locally, and are active in CAPS meetings and participate in local block clubs. Housing providers are in the business of providing housing, and we should be supporting them, not making their lives more difficult. Our housing providers are in a big crisis right now. Because of this pandemic, housing providers are struggling to keep their buildings open and pay their bills when many of their residents are unable to pay rent. We aren't asking grocery stores to give away free food or pharmacies to give away free medication, but somehow we are asking housing providers to give away free housing? Every housing provider will tell you it is a joy to have a good tenant who pays on time, is responsible and courteous. Housing providers will do anything to keep a good tenant. The process to evict a bad tenant takes months and costs exceed into the thousands of dollars. And once we inform a bad tenant they are being evicted, they simply double down on their bad behavior. And with this ordinance, that would be 4 months or more of sheer torture for their neighbors. When voting on today's Fair Notice Ordinance, ask yourself these questions. How does a housing provider remove a bad tenant who is making too much noise, having parties, and ruining the quality of life for everyone in the building? How does this stop this investment in my cherished neighborhood or in my ward? How does this help a developer come into the south and west sides and create much needed jobs and local economic development? What this ordinance does do is eliminate month-to-month tenancies. It forces responsible individuals like myself to give up being a housing provider, to encourage us to sell our properties to large corporations whose only interest is not being a good neighbor. Everyone wants more housing. We all want better options for Chicagoans to live in, but this isn't it because it simply rewards bad actors at the expense of everyone else. It makes it more difficult for neighborhood housing providers to continue providing good homes to Chicagoans. We should be working on the crisis that is ever so present and is standing right before all of us. We should wait until this pandemic is over before making any permanent changes. I thank you all for your time and attention.
Thank you, Mr. Adams. Our next speaker is Mr. Joe Mizzi.
Council members, Mayor, thank you for your time. My name is Joe Mizzi, and I have been a resident of Chicago for 14 years. I'm originally from Detroit, and I'm a musician turned software developer. I went to school and worked along Jackson Avenue downtown for roughly the first 10 years I was a resident of the city. And now I work for a company based out of Fulton Market, where I'm the director of software engineering. I've lived in a number of different neighborhoods before settling in Printers Row with my wife almost 5 years ago. I love this city, and while I may not have been born here, I consider this my home. Having spent so much time downtown in the last 14 years, I've seen a lot of protests: Occupy, Women's March, Teacher Strike, Black Lives Matter, just to name a few. I participated in some of these myself. My wife and I happened to be taking a walk in the park while the Buckingham Fountain protest made its way to the Columbus statue this past weekend. I was dismayed as I saw what was going on and realized that things might turn south. The police response was swift and drastic, and having been a Navy peer, in the middle of the 4th of July stampede, I know how these situations can turn dangerous quickly. I don't condone any violence, not by our citizens, not by our officers. I do my best to understand the pressure our officers face against agitators, but I believe Miracle Boyd is doing a far better job than I ever could of explaining why we cannot accept that as an excuse for attacking law-abiding citizens. Unfortunately, I believe all of this could have been prevented by not putting off doing the right thing. There are many things facing our city and nation that are gigantic. I don't believe I have the credentials or background to speak to many of these issues. I'd like to speak as a resident about history and legacy. Christopher Columbus, when one looks beyond the fairy tales told to us in history books, is not a man to be revered. He was not a man caught up in the brutality of his time. He was a brutal man of his time. So brutal so that his government stripped him of his rank and reprimanded for his torturous treatment of indigenous populations. Various motivations have caused the Western world to tell a perverted story of this man to children for generations. However, we can't accept that anymore. Let us as a city, as Chicagoans, send a message that this man does not represent us. Christopher Columbus's brutality is not who we are. Mayor, council members, please remove the statue of Christopher Columbus and place his likeness only where the truth of his story can be exercised along his image and name. Put our legacy on the right side of history. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Mizzi. And our next speaker is Ms. Manzi Katura.
Hi, good morning. My name is Mansi Kathuria, and I live in Rogers Park. I'm coming here today in support of the Chicago City Council resolution titled Chicago Resolution Honoring India's Independence and Democracy. This resolution affirms Chicago as a welcoming city for all, especially India's Muslims and those in caste-oppressed communities and survivors of genocide, many of whom live in Chicago. In December of 2019, the Indian Parliament passed the Discriminatory Citizenship Amendment Act, or the CAA, which creates an unconstitutional and religion-based system to grant citizenship only to select immigrants. It is the first time religion has ever been used as a factor in determining Indian citizenship. The law essentially grants refugee status to anyone entering the country who is not Muslim, and it reserves the category of illegal migrant for Muslims alone. The CAA goes hand in hand with the nationwide National Register of Citizens, the NRC, which will document the citizenship of more than 1.3 billion people in the country. The NRC asks individuals to prove that they are Indian citizens through an unfair and arbitrary process that relies on citizens being able to find documentation that most people in the country do not have. And 1.9 million people have already been excluded from citizenship in the state of Assam in India. The CAA and NRC together could denaturalize millions of Indians and create the largest network of concentration camps in the world. This is a grave human rights issue, and as an Indian American living in Chicago, we are calling on our elected officials to vote yes on this resolution and stand on the right side of history. This resolution has passed in 5 other U.S. cities already, including unanimously in San Francisco just this week, and has widespread support across the Democratic Party, including Biden, Bernie, and the Indo-American Democratic Organization right here in Chicago. Even Republicans have called out the NRC and CAA and the extreme bigotry happening in India. This also has support from Amnesty International. With my time, I also wanted to comment about the Green versus Chicago settlement that could release all CPD misconduct records from 1967 to today. I urge you to reject this settlement agreement. I do not want my tax dollars going to police settlements. Charles Green and the people of Chicago deserve to have these records of police misconduct to review and to clear wrongfully convicted individuals. This is a huge case for freedom of information and should not be buried with money. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Katsura, and thank all the speakers today. However, the time allotted for the public comment period has expired.
Rebecca.
Madam President, Alderman Cardenas wants to be recorded present.
Thank you, sir. So reflected. This concludes the public comment. We will now move to resolutions. In the interest of respecting people's times, we will forego the verbatim reading of the resolutions. Instead, hear remarks from the City Council. We have some congratulatory retirement resolutions and one other that we will be asking for the members to consider and pass. We will start with a resolution brought forward by Alderman Vasquez related to Affinity Community Services. Alderman Vasquez, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Yes, I am proud to be introducing this resolution recognizing 25 years, the anniversary of Affinity Community Services. Affinity is a Black LGBTQ woman-led organization that began 25 years ago as a result of not being let into the Bud Billiken Parade. A group of LGBTQ Black women organized, petitioned, were able to march, and from that victory began the organization. And they've done so many things. They've been inducted into the Gay and Lesbian Hall of Fame. And really the act of doing that, especially 25 years ago, is something that to me speaks to me as someone who had to come to an understanding because I had my own ignorance, and to really understand how challenging, how difficult it must have been to actually assert itself as an organization and to be a Southside organization to uplift Black LGBTQ women who wanted to live their authentic life and wanted to create a space to grow and organize and really make that statement just by existing is something that really moved me. And so I wanted to make sure to introduce that and to really shout out some of the amazing leaders of the organization, back to its first executive director, Kim Hunt, to Amani Rupert, who's done many amazing things, and the current board of Anna Deshawn, Aisha Davis, and Jess Thurman. I think that in a time where we want to recognize people's true existence and struggles that we all have to go through, I wanted to make sure that we're celebrated. And so I thank you for the opportunity to do.
Thank you, Alderman Vasquez. Alderman Dow, would you like to speak to this matter?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. I wanted to be associated with this resolution. I am a co-sponsor of this resolution as well. Affinity Community Services is located in the 3rd Ward, and I'm happy to celebrate their 25th anniversary. They are one of the nation's LGBTQ+ organization in the nation, an organization led by Black women, offering support and safe spaces for women struggling to self-actualize in a society that does many different levels. I too want to acknowledge the work of the former EDs, Imani Rupert Gordon, who is a constituent of the 3rd Ward and lives right around the corner from me, and Kim Hunt, who is a dear friend. I also want to acknowledge, I believe, the new executive director, Mackenzie Mack, and the board president, Anna Deshawn Rainey. I too rise in support of this resolution. I thank Alderman Vasquez for bringing this forward and to my attention, and I celebrate the achievements of Affinity Community Services. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Alderman Dow. Is there anyone else that wants to speak to this resolution?
Yes, Madam President, Alderwoman Haddon here.
Oh, I'm sorry, Alderman Haddon, yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Alderman Vasquez, for bringing this forward. And just a quick congratulations, Affinity Community Services and all the people who have started and worked for this organization and contribute to it. I'm still a monthly member. Make this city and this country a space where people like me can show up with our full selves. And I deeply appreciate all the work that you do, and congratulations.
Thank you, Alderman Haddon. Any others that wish to speak to the Affinity Community Services Resolution? Alderman Vasquez, thank you for bringing this forward. I agree with you and the comments of Alderman Dow that Affinity Community Services is an important organization and that they do great work on behalf of the LGBTQ community and particularly Black lesbians. Alderman Vasquez, do you wish to move a passage of this resolution by the first quorum roll call?
Yes, I do, Madam Mayor. So moved.
Hearing no objection, so ordered. Next up is a resolution upon the retirement of former First Deputy Anthony Riccio. Are there members that wish to be heard in support of this resolution?
Moore.
Alderman David, the chair recognizes Alderman David Moore.
Thank you, Madam President. Absolutely. One of the things, being an alderman, you have the opportunity or you have the task of making sure that your constituents' needs as it relates to safety get answered and addressed. And since I've been alderman, there have been several people that I can definitely always depend on. And Riccio was one of those guys, down to earth, straight shooter, and no pun intended, but straight to the point of whatever your needs were, and he would get the right people to you. He's definitely going to be missed, but more than anything for me, I think I know he served this department well. And I just want to congratulate him on his retirement. I know a person like him, he'll probably only sit down for 2 or 3 months and be back at doing something else again. So you can't keep a good man like that down for too long. So I appreciate his service to this city and thank him for personally being someone that I can reach out to on a consistent basis. Thank you, Madam President.
You're on mute.
The chair recognizes, thank you, Alderman Moore. The chair recognizes Alderman Napolitano.
Thank you, Madam President. I too support this resolution. First Deputy Superintendent Riccio, I think, was an incredible addition to the Chicago Police Department, not only for the police officers, but as well as the citizens of the city of Chicago. He's going to be missed. This man put his heart and soul into his career, 34 years as an officer, and I tip my hat to that, and always took the time to sit down with anybody in our office, in our ward, and in our districts up here on the Northwest side and talk about what's going on and how he can make it better, a place to live and a safer place to live. So to that, I do support this resolution. I think it's a great thing for a great man, and I hope he enjoys his retirement and doesn't go get about 6 more jobs after he retires. Thank you for supporting this, Madam President.
Thank you, Alderman Napolitano. The chair recognizes Alderman Sposato.
Thank you, Madam President. I too support this resolution. Anthony was certainly the first deputy, but he was more than that to me. Him and me became really, really good friends. And I appreciate his friendship and all he did for the city as first deputy. I'd always joke around with him and the superintendents that I always called Anthony my punching bag, because we would always rough him up trying to get more people over here in the 16th district. But he's truly a leader, is well respected, well liked officer, and it was pretty hard to find people that didn't like or respect him. So Anthony, appreciate all you did for this great city, for the 16th district, and myself. So best wishes to you. I know we'll be friends forever. I don't know if you're listening right now, but thank you for everything. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Alderman Sposato. The chair recognizes Alderman Daley Thompson.
Thank you, Madam President. I just, on behalf of the residents here in the 11th Ward, I just want to congratulate First Deputy Riccio on a great career, and wish him all the best in his new endeavors. I know people have talked about other jobs that he'll probably get, but hopefully he'll take time and enjoy some time with his family. He's a credit to his family, second generation police officer. And I just, on behalf of the residents here in the 11th Ward, we want to thank you for your service to the city. You're a great public servant. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Daley Thompson. The chair recognizes Alderman Raboyos.
Thank you, Madam President. I too want to be recognized in this resolution. I met Mr. Riccio when he was a sergeant and came a long way. And it's, you know, there's a saying in Espanol, nadie sabe lo que tiene hasta que lo pierde, meaning that you don't know what you have till you lose it. This guy was very dedicated to his job, very dedicated to this community, and I just hope that some of the folks that are still there learned and shared something with Mr. Riccio, because it will really help their career. He will be missed. I wish him well. I wish his family well. He needs to spend some time with his family before he can move forward, because he deserves it. And I thank you for that. And if he's listening, you will be missed. Thank you, Madam Chair, Madam President.
Thank you, Alderman Raboyos. The chair recognizes Alderman Gardner.
Thank you, Madam. And I too rise in support of this resolution. And on behalf of the 45th Ward, you will be missed by our residents and your colleagues. At a time when officers are often overlooked for their service to our city, I want to say thank you, and we salute you for a job well done. Stay safe and God bless.
Thank you, Alderman Gardner. The chair recognizes Alderman Lopez.
Thank you and good morning, Madam President. I too rise in support of this resolution. I want to wish the First Deputy the best of luck on his retirement. On behalf of the communities of Brighton Park, Gage Park, Back of the Yards, and West Englewood, his presence has been felt in our efforts over the years to address the gang violence. And I appreciate having a willing partner able to help and join us and support our police locally to address the matters of safety that are of the utmost concern to my residents. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Lopez. The chair recognizes Public Safety Chair Chris Taliaferro.
Thank you, Madam President. I too rise in support of this resolution and want to congratulate First Deputy Ricky on behalf of the 29th Ward. First Deputy, you've had a very distinguished career, rising from patrolman all the way to the rank of First Deputy, the second highest rank on the Chicago Police Department. And that's just a testament to a well-rounded and professional career. To me, you've accomplished something that many folks have not been able to accomplish on our Chicago Police Department, and that's to gain the respect of the entire department. You are known as a people's police, and you are known as a police officer's police. You've been able to balance the needs of the communities as well as the needs of your officers, and you balance that very well. It is my hope that you get a bass boat or any kind of fishing boat and a couple of rods and reels and enjoy the rest of your career. But I know your love for this city and others throughout this state is so great that you'll hardly be sitting down. And I could see your challenge taking you to another jurisdiction and hoping to bring a better municipality there. So thank you for your service. It is indeed a well-rounded career, and I thank you. And thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Alderman Taliaferro. The chair recognizes Alderman Curtis.
Thank you, Madam President. Also, thank you, First Deputy, for your years of service. You've always been great to talk with and help us solve our problems here in the 18th Ward. Even in these trying times, we hate to see you go, but congratulations, you deserve it. Thank you, Madam Chair, Madam President.
Thank you, Alderman Curtis. I too support this resolution. Tony Riccio is a son of this city, a man who loves the city. He was the son of a Chicago police officer, and he followed in his father's footsteps and served this city honorably. He was a first deputy in challenging times. I got to know him well over the course of this last year. And as I said to him when we were able to have a private moment, Tony, I thank you for your friendship, for your grace, for your support, and for helping me help the men and women of the Chicago Police Department. He's a beloved father, husband, and he was a great son to both of his parents. We wish you nothing but a long, healthy life and a fulfilled life in your retirement. And it's a great honor to be recognizing you here today. You've certainly deserved all the praise and more, given your dedication and your sacrifice for this city. We wish you the best. Thank you, Tony. Alderman Mitchell, do you move for the passage of this resolution by the quorum in the consent calendar?
Move.
Hearing no objection, so ordered. Thank you. Our next resolution is in honor of our retired building commissioner, Judy Friedland. Are there those members of the council that would like to speak to this resolution? The chair recognizes Alderman Lopez.
Thank you again, Madam President. Commissioner, I remember the day you were nominated. I remember the day that we confirmed you. Those were wonderful highlights for me to be able to support someone so widely recognized as being a leader everyone can work with. I believe at the time of your confirmation, somebody said it's not often that you have the people that regulate you speak on behalf of the person being nominated. But you have truly shown, not only in your previous roles, but especially as Commissioner of Buildings, your willingness to work with all groups, all people connected to the Department of Buildings, and to bring them under one roof. You've championed the revising of codes that have long been outdated and helped bring the city of Chicago into the 21st century. For that, you will always be remembered. But in the 15th Ward, you have been a wonderful partner. You've been a partner in addressing many of the troubled buildings, the vacant and abandoned properties that when I took office were over 700. And we've cut that down by 2/3, in large part thanks to your partnership. We cannot thank you enough. You will be missed immensely. And though I know that your staff is more than capable of carrying on the mission and the spirit that you brought to this department, I can personally say that my husband and I both will miss you very much as being the partner that you were here in the 15th Ward. And I wish you all the best moving forward, and know that this will not be the last that we see you as you continue to take on roles personally and professionally. I wish you all the best. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Alderman Lopez. The chair recognizes Alderman Cappleman.
Thank you, Madam President. Commissioner, I want to call you Judy because you're a friend. Your story of your family surviving the Holocaust is just amazing, and they produced this wonderful child who has just turned the city around. I can't speak your praises enough. Response time also to our calls, amazing. I don't know how you did it, but I will forever be the president of your fan club. Thank you so much. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Alderman Cappleman. The chair recognizes Alderman Sawyer.
Thank you, Madam President. I too stand in support of this resolution. Judy, I want to thank you for your service to the city, your career from Corporation Counsel's office and then to the building department. You've done phenomenal work. And on a personal level, you've been my friend for over 30 years, and I guess I'm dating ourselves, but going back to law school together, and we continued our friendship all throughout this time. I appreciate your service. I know it's not the last time we'll see you. We're going to see you around because you have too much to offer the city. But thank you for your service. You've done well, and you'll continue to do well. God bless you in all your endeavors. And thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Alderman Sawyer. The chair recognizes Alderman Napolitano.
Thank you, Madam President. I too support this resolution on behalf of the Commissioner's retirement, Commissioner Friedland. On behalf of the 41st Ward, we thank you for your service, 31 years of service to the city of Chicago, as well as thank you from the 41st Ward, who is also where you live, and your neighbors and constituents that you've supported here and helped out for so many years. You've made our office, you made the life of everyone in this office a lot easier by your dedication to duty, as well as the way you treated your department. You led by example, and that's incredible to see this day and age. I appreciate all you do. Please enjoy your retirement, and God bless. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Alderman. The chair recognizes Alderman Curtis.
Thank you, Madam President. Judy, you know I don't want to speak to this. I'm going to miss you tremendously. We've worked together for so many years. When you first told me that you were leaving, I was so disappointed. You've done so much to help me in my ward after becoming alderman, and as I was superintendent, and you were in the law department. I'm gonna miss you tremendously. And you know I don't want to see you go. I do not want to see you go. But congratulations, and I do support this resolution. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Alderman Curtis. The chair recognizes Alderman Moore.
Thank you, Madam President. Commissioner, you've been a person that we all could depend on and go to. Not many people are not only willing, but also be proactively willing to walk the wards of our communities to see what's going on firsthand. You can't tell what's going on in these communities unless you're out there. And you get out there, and you've gotten out there, and you did it with such grace, but yet tenacity, and making sure that our businesses would be in our buildings would be better than what you founded. There's definitely more work to do, but you've set a pathway for us to be successful and be better, especially taking care of these abandoned buildings and holding our businesses in the way they interact with their buildings accountable. I think you, and I know you have a great staff. You've helped build them up. And although you will be missed, you left a great person in Marlene Hopkins that would undoubtedly come in and make a difference. And so I appreciate you for giving her the tools that she needed to be a better assistant commissioner to you, as well as being able to just make our communities better. So thank you for your service. Again, I know you're not done, because again, you can go get some rest for a little while, but you're a person that you care. And when you care, you're going to get involved because there's work to be done. I don't know how you're going to do it, but you're going to do it. And so I just appreciate you and your service to this city, and especially to the residents of the 17th Ward. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Alderman. The chair recognizes Alderman Burnett.
Thank you, Madam President. I also want to support this resolution. Julie, we're going to miss you. You've worked with us in a myriad of ways in our community. You know, I appreciate all of the cranes that are up in my ward. Businesses really appreciate you. You have a big picture. You've worked with us on getting buildings torn down. I've brought affordable housing developers to you, and you found a way to make it where they can do their affordable housing. You know, you worked on changing things. I mean, I really appreciate everything you've done for the city. You have had a broader view on bringing economic development to the city. You didn't just look at yourself being one that dealt with buildings and building laws, but you also saw yourself in making things happen in this city. You're gonna leave a legacy that's gonna be hard to top. We really appreciate everything you've done. I know in Yiddish they call the men menches. I don't know what they call the women, but you are a mensch. So I just want to say Zygas unto you and God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman. The chair recognizes Alderman Sposato.
Thank you, Madam President. I too support this resolution. Judy, you are awesome, Judy. As you know, we all love you and appreciate you. You did an awesome job. Actually, I never had to bother you that much because I would always go to your staff, and you just had an awesome staff. There was never much of a need for a major problem to come to you, but most of the times I would come to you or talk to you was just out of friendship, just to talk to you to see what's going on. So best wishes to you. Glad I was able to make your little last day party. I know you're a Northwest Sider, so look forward to getting together with you, Politano, and some of the other Northwest Siders on Edison Park over there. So best wishes to you. You'll certainly be missed. God bless you, and take care. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Alderman Sposato. The chair recognizes Alderman Thompson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Oh, I got a little, there we go. Thank you, Madam President. I too support this resolution. And again, on behalf of the residents of the 11th Ward, Commissioner Friedland, Judy, I just want to thank you for your service to the city. Wonderful career. You are a true public servant. As some of my colleagues have talked about, you were a problem solver. It's easy to say no in government, and you always looked to say, how can we get this done? And worked with all of us. You were only a phone call or a text away. And I appreciated that relationship. You know, we started out many years ago, 10, 15 years ago, as adversaries, you representing the city and I was representing property owners in litigation. We became colleagues, but most importantly that I cherish is to be able to call you a friend. And I look forward to your new endeavors after you take some time to spend with Mom and your family, and then look forward to seeing you back. And again, on behalf of the residents of the 11th Ward, we want to wish you all the best and thank you for your service. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Alderman Thompson. The chair recognizes Alderman Raboyos.
Thank you, Madam President. I think everything's been said about Judy Friedland, but she was the go-to person. There's no doubt about it. I hope you enjoy your retirement, your family, and most importantly, a well-earned future. God bless you and bless your family. And please stay home, stay positive, and spend some time with your family. You deserve it. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Alderman. The chair recognizes Alderman Harris.
Thank you. I too joined this resolution. Everything's been said, but I want to say it again. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I call you Judy because you have endeared yourself to me and to my community. It was never a time when I didn't call you and ask you for help and you didn't just show up. You showed out. So we appreciate you. Appreciate your commitment to our communities. Man, the 8th Ward is definitely losing a great leader, but I wish you Godspeed, and I wish you the enjoyment of hanging out with your mom and giving some time back to your family. You so deserve it. You work so hard. So again, I love you and appreciate you for everything you've done for the residents of the 8th Ward, and may God bless you. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Alderman Harris. The chair recognizes Alderman Hairston.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the City Council. Commissioner, you have been a lifeline for the Fifth Ward, the land of buildings, troubled and otherwise. I am truly grateful for not just working with you, but also for your creativity in finding ways to address problems and find solutions when it seemed like there weren't any. So I am truly grateful for that. It has been many, many years, and I wish you the best. You have just done so much for the city of Chicago and for the residents, and created legislation that has made Chicago a better place and a world-class city. So I want to thank you for that. I wish you the best in your, I'm not going to call it retirement, in your next stage. And if there is anything that you ever need, I am there for you, just like you were there for me. Thank you and congratulations.
The chair thank you, Alderman. The chair recognizes Alderman Irvin.
Thank you, Madam President. Judy, thank you for your service, not only to the city of Chicago, but to the residents of the West Side. You were one of the first members of Corporation Council I met when becoming an alderman back in 2011. And your service then, as it has been today, has been nothing but impeccable and the best. I can remember the huge demolition project over on Lotus in Washington, an area that nobody wanted, but you tackled it and got the job done. And the residents in that area are forever grateful for you and the team that you had working with us on that project. But again, congratulations. And as you move to your new stage, not retirement, but a new stage of life, we wish you the best. God bless you. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Alderman Irvin. The chair recognizes Alderman Smith.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I have to join the chorus of support for the amazing person that Judy Friedland is and what she brought to the city. I think most people in our city probably don't know who Judy is. And I think they need to know that in our city, which is so under a lot of stress right now, that we have many, many people in our city who dedicate themselves to just making lives better for Chicagoans. And that's Judy. She took her job as professionally, changed things when she saw that they had to be changed, and helped make procedures and systems work for people. So if you had a building in your neighborhood that was troubled and you had a hard time getting it taken down, you can thank Judy and aldermen who supported the troubled building ordinance like that down. When we've had nuisance businesses and need to bring in the building department to see that they are complying with the law, and often close nuisance bad businesses because they're unsafe, you can thank Judy and the laws that were enabled by some of her work as a lawyer. So I really just want to say that everyone in Chicago should be grateful that Chicago has so many great public servants. And then we have the spectacular ones like Judy. And I also want to say that nowadays we can call a Jewish woman a mensch, but even better, a woman of valor, which you are, Judy. So mazel tov on your finding some time for yourself, and best luck in the future. Thank you very much, Madam President.
Thank you, Alderman Smith. The chair recognizes Alderman Cardenas.
Thank you, Madam President. I could not stay away from saying something about Judy. And I do call her Judy as well as my colleagues, because she's endeared herself to many of us over the years. I've been in the council. This is my 18 years now. And from the day I met her, you could tell that she was a go-getter, someone that made an impact on a lot of us that were at that time freshmen. And so I thank her for being a true professional. I know these are tough times. I know she's going to stay engaged in many other things, and she's enjoyed her mom. But we're going to miss her. And I support this resolution with a little bit of sadness in seeing her go. I'm going to miss her a lot. So congratulations at the same time. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Alderman. The chair recognizes Alderman Garza.
Madam President, I just want to take time out to say, Judy, thank you so much for your kindness, your compassion. Whether you were an alderman or a Valo crane operator, you treated everybody with dignity and respect. I'm going to miss you immensely. You are somebody that made this city what it is today. And I will forever be grateful for everything that you've done to help the residents of the 10th Ward and the things that you've done to guide me in the right direction. Congratulations on your retirement. I'm happy that you're going to be spending some time with your family, because really in the big picture of things, it's the only thing that really truly matters. Congratulations. I'm sure our paths will meet again. Bye-bye. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Alderman Garza. The chair recognizes Alderman Silverstein.
Thank you, Madam President. I too support this resolution. Judy, as you're hearing from all of my colleagues, I don't think there's one of us that wants you to go. I want to personally thank you for everything that you've done for me and all the help that you've given me and the 50th Ward and the entire city of Chicago. I want to wish you a lot of good luck, and you deserve the break, and we're really going to miss you. Take care.
Thank you, Alderman. The chair recognizes Alderman Dow.
Thank you, Madam President. To Judy, I wanted to stand with this resolution. Judy, we're going to miss you. When you called me and told me you were retiring, I would say it ain't so, but unfortunately it is so. But on behalf of the residents of the 3rd Ward, we want you to know that you have left our ward in a better place. We appreciate your attentiveness to really difficult issues in our community, like the Central Arms Hotel or our bad landlords and bad businesses when we've had abandoned buildings or emergency demolitions. You've helped us break through those obstacles. And so as you leave City Hall, I want to just thank you for all the work that you've done. Dictionary and said public servant, your picture would be there. And wish you the best in your new journey in life. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Alderman Dow. The chair recognizes Alderman King. Alderman King, I think you're on mute. Can you start again?
Sorry about that. I think I needed my earphones. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I apologize. Thank you, Madam President. Commissioner, I just wanted to add to the chorus of thank yous. I talked to you personally, but I feel it's important to publicly thank you for your service. It's you served very humbly and very effectively, and it's hard to find sometimes. So I just wanted to let you know how much I appreciate you, and wish you all the best, especially your mother, but you and your family. And I know, we'll see each other in the future, and I hope that, this isn't a long-term retirement, but that you take the time that you need with your family. So thank you. Thank you again for your service.
Thank you, Alderman King. The chair recognizes Alderman Coleman.
Thank you, Madam President. And to Commissioner Friedland, you were my first commissioner that welcomed me to City Council. And just in this year, you have really helped make the 16th Ward a better place in addressing the quality of life for some of the buildings, the troubled buildings. You helped us fix those and make sure that our ward is a better place. And I still to this day have seniors that thank me for getting those demos those buildings demoed that were eyesores or that were places of crime and for squatters. And just thank you for your leadership. I am going to miss your good follicles, as I always tell you when I see you. Congratulations. And I'm sure that Marlene Hopkins will carry on the mantle as she has. The whole department has been so great and patient with this new alderman. So thank you and God bless you.
Thank you, Alderman. The chair recognizes Alderman Gardner.
Thank you, Madam President. I too rise in support of this resolution. Thank you, Commissioner Friedland, for your work and your support as Commissioner of Buildings. It wasn't that long ago when I was a freshman alderman, I was fighting what felt like a lone uphill against powerful and wealthy developers in my ward for what was right and just for our residents. Your willingness to listen and your words of advice during those tough times will not be forgotten. Thank you for your service to our beloved city of Chicago. Enjoy your retirement. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Alderman Gardner. The chair recognizes Alderman Osterman.
Thank you, Madam President. Judy, I just wanted, on behalf of my community and my staff, really thank you from the bottom of our hearts. You brought an extreme level of professionalism to the building department. I really appreciated the collaboration with you. We solved problems where they felt like we were solving them together. And I also want to commend you on having that filter down throughout the department. As you're hearing from our colleagues today, we value that partnership, and we always knew that we had you as a partner to make our city safe and the buildings around our city safe. So all the best to you, your family. Enjoy your retirement, and thank you to your service to the city. Thank you. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Alderman Osterman. The chair recognizes Alderman Hopkins.
Yeah, thank you, Madam President. I too wish to be associated with this resolution. And Commissioner, I just want to say your professionalism and your responsiveness are unsurpassed during both this administration and the previous. You've done an outstanding job, and I deeply appreciate working with you. And I wish you all the luck in the world going forward. Thank you. We'll miss you.
Thank you, Alderman Hopkins. The chair recognizes Alderman Tunney.
Thank you, Madam Chair. You know, I obviously don't want to echo all the comments and superlatives about our building commissioner, but to some degree I'm taken aback. You know, I thought as the chairperson of the zoning and building committee that I got special treatment, but obviously the treatment that you gave me as your chairman of the zoning committee embarks on all the aldermen and their superlatives about you. So Judy, we're going to miss you, and we're going to miss some of those behind the scenes conversations about codes, simplifying things, and just dealing with everyday drama in the building department. So hopefully you'll get a little rest and relaxation with your family, and then off to a second career, third career for that matter. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Alderman Tunney. The chair recognizes Alderman Burke.
Thank you, Madam President. It's been said, has it not, that it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. And that phrase, I think, applies to the commissioner. It's really a tribute. I've heard a lot of retirement resolutions in this body over the years. Seldom has there been a resolution where every single member of the city council wanted to be recognized and say a few words. Judy is much too young to retire, and I'm sure that she's going to be practicing law. There's no one that knows more about the building code of the city of Chicago than she does. So good luck and congratulations, and mazel tov.
Thank you, Alderman Burke. Any other member of the council that wishes to be heard on this resolution? Judy, what I will say is, I think the chorus of acclaim and support for you really speaks for itself. You've heard from every corner of our city, north, south, east, and west, veteran office, aldermen, and new. And that really speaks to, I think, your professionalism and the level of service that you render to residents of this incredible city. Your list of accomplishments is way too long for me to read at this moment, but let me highlight a few. You began your career in the law department, and then you were tapped to go in and right the ship at the building department. I work for the city, and I've been long enough to know that building commissioners have come and gone, but you walked in with a steady hand in challenging times and uplifted the level of service and professionalism, and you leave behind you a legacy about which you should be incredibly proud. From making sure that there was meaning in the troubled building code and working with aldermen to resolve challenges in their neighborhoods, to the monumental effort of revising the city's construction regulations and building codes, which many had tried, many had failed, but you accomplished. And your recognition last year as Code Official of the Year, I think really speaks volumes. You will be tremendously missed, as all the aldermen have attested, but I'm confident that you have built a team that will continue on in your legacy with your vision of service, first and foremost, to the residents of the city. And about that, you should be extraordinarily proud. We wish you the best in your next chapter. As many have said, we're excited to see what the future holds for you, but best wishes on a happy and long next chapter. Thank you very much, Judy, for your service.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you. Alderman Mitchell, do you have a motion to approve this resolution by the first quorum vote?
So moved.
Hearing no opposition, so ordered. Next, Madam Clerk, communications.
A series of communications from our honor the mayor to the honorable the city council of the city of Chicago. Ladies and gentlemen, at the request of the Commissioner of Aviation, I transmit herewith an ordinance authorizing issuance of bond inducement language in conjunction with the lease agreement with Aero Chicago LLC at O'Hare International Airport. Your favorable consideration of this ordinance will be appreciated. Very truly yours, Lori E. Lightfoot, referred to the Committee on Finance. Ladies and gentlemen, at the request of the Commissioner of Planning and Development, I transmit herewith an ordinance authorizing an intergovernmental agreement with the Chicago Housing Authority regarding property located at 1450 North Larrabee Street. Your favorable consideration of this ordinance will be appreciated. Very truly yours, Lori E. Lightfoot, Mayor, referred to the Committee on Finance. Ladies and gentlemen, at the request of Commissioner of Aviation, I transmit herewith an ordinance authorizing the execution of a lease agreement with Aero Chicago LLC at O'Hare International Airport. Your favorable consideration of this ordinance will be appreciated. Very truly yours, Lori E. Lightfoot, Mayor, referred to the Committee on Aviation. Ladies and gentlemen, at the request of the Commissioner of Assets, Information and Services, I transmit herewith an ordinance authorizing the execution of an intergovernmental agreement the Chicago Housing Authority regarding NEPA and environmental review. Your favorable consideration of this ordinance will be appreciated. Very truly yours, Lori E. Lightfoot, Mayor, referred to the Committee on Budget and Government Operations. Ladies and gentlemen, at the request of Commissioner of Planning and Development, I transmit here with an ordinance authorizing the execution of a redevelopment agreement for expenditure of neighborhood opportunity funds for Exkina Business Incubator. Your favorable consideration of this ordinance will be appreciated. Very truly yours, Lori E. Lightfoot, Mayor, referred to the Committee on Budget and Government Operations. Ladies and gentlemen, at the request of the Budget Director, I transmit herewith a Fund 925 amendment. Your favorable consideration of this ordinance will be appreciated. Very truly yours, Lori E. Lightfoot, Mayor, referred to the Committee on Budget and Government Operations. Ladies and gentlemen, at the request of the Commissioner of Planning and Development, I transmit here with an ordinance authorizing an amendment to a conservation easement agreement with Open Lands. Your favorable consideration of this ordinance will be appreciated. Very truly yours, Lori E. Lightfoot, Mayor. Referred to the Committee on Housing and Real Estate. Ladies and gentlemen, at the request of Commissioner of Planning and Development, I transmit herewith an ordinance authorizing the sale of city-owned property. Your favorable consideration of this ordinance will be appreciated. Very truly yours, Lori E. Lightfoot, Mayor. Referred to the Committee on Housing and Real Estate. Ladies and gentlemen, at the request of Commissioner of Assets, Information and Services, I transmit herewith ordinances authorizing the execution of lease agreements. Your favorable consideration of these ordinances will be appreciated. Very truly yours, Lori E. Lightfoot, Mayor. Referred to the Committee on Housing and Real Estate. Ladies and gentlemen, at the request of Commissioner of Housing, I transmit herewith an ordinance authorizing the execution of a multifamily loan agreement with POAH in conjunction with an acquisition of Levy House. Your favorable consideration of this ordinance be appreciated. Very truly yours, Lori E. Lightfoot, Mayor. Referred to the Committee on Housing and Real Estate. Ladies and gentlemen, at the request of Commissioner of Housing, I transmit herewith, together with Alderman Hairston and Taylor, an ordinance providing for woodlawn-related funding and affordable requirements. Your favorable consideration of this ordinance be appreciated. Very truly yours, Lori E. Lightfoot, Mayor. Referred to the Committee on Housing and Real Estate. Ladies and gentlemen, at the request of Corporation Council, I transmit herewith an ordinance amending Section 4-60-140 of the Municipal Code regarding activities of licensees associated amendment to Code Section 124-070. Your favorable consideration of this ordinance will be appreciated. Very truly yours, Lori E. Lightfoot, Mayor. Referred to the Committee on License and Consumer Protection. Ladies and gentlemen, at the request of the Commissioner of Business Affairs and Consumer Protection, I transmit an ordinance with various provisions of municipal code regarding shared housing. Your favorable consideration of this ordinance will be appreciated. Very truly yours, Lori E. Lightfoot. Referred to the Committee on License and Consumer Protection. Ladies and gentlemen, at the request of the Commissioner of Transportation, I transmit herewith an ordinance amending the municipal code regarding pedal assist cargo bikes used for delivery. Your favorable consideration of this ordinance be appreciated. Very truly yours, Lori E. Lightfoot, Mayor. Referred to the Committee on Pedestrian and Traffic Safety. Ladies and gentlemen, the request of Commissioner of Transportation, I transmit herewith an ordinance amending the municipal code regarding low-speed electric mobility devices and scooters. Your favorable consideration of this ordinance will be appreciated. Very truly yours, Lori E. Lightfoot, Mayor. Referred to the Committee on Pedestrian and Traffic Safety. Ladies and gentlemen, the request of Commissioner of Transportation, I transmit here an ordinance authorizing the closure of 2600 West Maple Street Viaduct Associated Alley dedication. Your favorable consideration of this ordinance be appreciated. Very truly yours, Lori E. Lightfoot, Mayor. Referred to the Committee on Transportation and Public Way. Ladies and gentlemen, the request of the Commissioner of Planning and Development, I transmit herewith ordinances authorizing the expenditure of open space impact fees funds. Your favorable consideration of this ordinances be appreciated. Very truly yours, Lori E. Lightfoot, Mayor. Referred to the Committee on Special Events, Cultural Affairs, and Recreation. Ladies and gentlemen, at the request of the Commissioner of Planning and Development, I transmit herewith an ordinance amending 17-13 of the Municipal Code regarding zoning review fees. Your favorable consideration of this ordinance will be appreciated. Very truly yours, Lori E. Lightfoot, Mayor. Referred to the Committee on Zoning, Landmarks, and Building Standards. Ladies and gentlemen, I transmit herewith appointments to various special service areas. Your favorable consideration of these appointments will be appreciated. Very truly yours, Lori E. Lightfoot, Mayor. Referred to the Committee on Economic Capital and Technology Development. I, City Clerk Anna Valencia, hereby inform the City Council that the following documents were filed in my office relating to the respective subjects designated as follows. Fourth amended and reissued Department of Health Order Number 2020-5 regarding of alcoholic liquor sales. Third amended and reissued Department of Health Order Number 2020-9 outlining guidelines for city's phase 4 gradual reopening. Department of Health Order Number 2020-10 regarding mandatory self-quarantine of persons entering Chicago from high incident states. Funding loan notification, the City of Chicago Multifamily Housing Revenue Note, Series 2020. Office of Inspector General's quarterly report for period ended June 30, 2020, and comprehensive annual financial report of the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District of Greater Chicago for year ending December 31st, 2019. I, City Clerk Valencia, also informed the City Council that all those matters were considered by the City Council at the regular meeting held on June 17, 2020, and to be required by statute to be published in book or pamphlet form or in one or more newspapers were published in pamphlet form on July 22nd, 2020 by being printed in full text and printed pamphlet copies of the Journal of the Proceedings of the City Council of the City of Chicago. I also transmit herewith the following miscellaneous communications and reports requiring City Council action. Zoning reclassifications of particular areas, which are referred to the Committee on Zoning, Landmarks, and Building Standards, and claims against the City of Chicago, which referred to the Committee on Finance. And claims, free permit, license fee exemptions, referred to the Committee on Finance. Zoning amendments, referred to the Committee on Zoning, Landmarks, and Building Standards. Traffic regulations, signals and traffic signs, referred to the Committee on Pedestrian Traffic Safety. Grants of privilege over the public way, referred to the Committee on Transportation and Public Way. Exemptions from physical barrier requirement for commercial driveway, alley access, and parking facilities, referred to the Committee on Transportation and Public Way. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We'll now move to committee reports. And remember, any alderman wishing to speak should use the teleconference raise your hand function. First committee is Finance. Chairman Wagasback.
Thank you, Madam President. Reporting for the City Council's Committee on Finance, which met on July 2020 for the purposes of establishing roll call. I will be going out of order on the Committee on Finance agenda. So items 2 and 3 will be considered first due to the fact that item 1 is not subject to a vote, but is instead placed on file with the clerk. Items 2 and 3 consist of authorizations for the payment of various small claims against the city and denials of various small claims against the city. These items were recommended for approval by the committee. If no one wishes to speak on the matters, I move to concur with the recommendation of the committee by a roll call vote.
Roll call.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Laspada.
Here, aye, sorry.
Alderman Hopkins.
Aye.
Alderman Dowell.
Aye.
Alderman King.
Aye.
Alderman Hairston.
Aye.
Alderman Sawyer. Alderman Sawyer.
Aye.
Alderman Mitchell.
Aye.
Alderman Harris.
Aye.
Alderman Beal.
Yep.
Alderman Sadlowski Garza.
Aye.
Alderman Thompson.
Aye.
Alderman Cardenas.
Aye.
Alderman Quinn.
Aye.
Alderman Burke.
Aye.
Alderman Lopez.
Aye.
Alderman Coleman.
Aye.
Alderman Moore.
Aye.
Alderman Curtis.
Aye.
Alderman O'Shea.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Brookins.
Aye.
Alderman Rodriguez.
Aye.
Alderman Taveras.
Aye.
Alderman Scott.
Aye.
Alderman Cicho Lopez.
Aye.
Alderman Maldonado.
Aye.
Alderman Burnett.
Aye.
Alderman Irvin.
Aye.
Alderman Taliaferro.
Aye.
Alderman Raboyes.
Aye.
Alderman Cardona. Alderman Cardona.
Cassandra. Make a copy.
Alderman Wagasback.
Aye.
Alderman Rodriguez Sanchez.
Aye.
Alderman Austin. Alderman Ramirez Rosa.
Aye.
Alderman Villegas.
Aye.
Alderman Mitz.
Aye.
Alderman Sposato.
Yes.
Alderman Nugent.
Yes.
Alderman Vasquez.
Yes.
Alderman Napolitano.
Aye.
Alderman Riley.
Aye.
Alderman Smith.
Aye.
Alderman Tunney.
Aye.
Alderman Gardner.
Aye.
Alderman Cappleman.
Aye.
Alderman Martin.
Aye.
Alderman Osterman.
Aye.
Alderman Haddon.
Aye.
Alderman Silverstein.
Aye.
Alderman Cardona, aye.
Alderman Cardona votes aye. Your Honor, there are 49 yeas, no nays.
Madam President.
Alderman Thompson on the motion for reconsideration.
Thank you, Madam President. Motion to reconsider the last vote.
All those in favor of reconsidering the last vote signify by saying aye. All those opposed say no.
No.
The motion for reconsideration fails. Chairman Wagasback.
Madam President, item number 1 regarding monthly settlements through the law department will be placed on file with the clerk. Now, item number 4 consists of 2 orders authorizing corporation and council to enter into and execute a settlement in the cases of Manuel Barrios, that's 4A, and 4B, Charles Green. I will be separating the votes on 4A and B. And for item number 4A, the Barrios case, I move passage by the first most favorable roll call vote of the Committee on Finance report and the corresponding unsuccessful motion to reconsider.
Hearing no objection, so ordered.
Madam President, for item 4B, this matter will be held in committee. Madam President, thank you for speaking with me earlier. And I wish to point out that you are giving Alderman more time to read the documents for us to address this matter, and for the ordinance that I did send to all of my colleagues last night regarding the public database of CR's creation to be discussed. I think it will allow time to read the ordinance for this public database and prepare for discussions on it at the earliest possible date and hopeful passage this fall. So again, this item will be held in committee, and thank you, Madam President. This concludes the report of the Committee on Finance. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Regiswag. The Committee on Budget and Government Operations, Chairman Dow.
Wait a minute. Okay. Madam President and members of the City Council, reporting for your Committee on the Budget and Government Operations, which held a meeting on July 15th, 2020. The committee recommends passage of the following. 1, a substitute ordinance concerning an amendment to the annual appropriation ordinance year 2020 within Fund 925 for the Office of the Mayor, the Department of Cultural Affairs and Special Events, the Department of Public Health, the Department of Family and Support Services, and the Department of Transportation. I move passage of this item by the first most favorable roll call vote of the Committee on Finance and associated unsuccessful motion to reconsider.
Hearing no objections, so ordered.
The next item is the substitute ordinance introduced by myself, Alderman Pat Dowell, 3rd Ward, amending Municipal Code Section 2-92-490 to further regulate duties of Chief Procurement Officer regarding the electronic directory maintenance requirements for certification eligible and minority-owned businesses. Same motion if there is no objection.
Hearing no objection, so ordered.
This concludes my report, Madam President. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Dow. The Committee on Aviation, Chairman O'Shea.
Thank you, Madam President. Reporting for your Committee on Aviation, for which a virtual meeting was held on July the 7th, 2020. The committee had 2 items under consideration. Number 1, 02020-2241, a license agreement with the American Heart Association for installation, operation, and maintenance of an interactive hands-only CPR kiosk at Chicago's Midway International Airport. Second item, 02020-3438, an ordinance, the authorization of license agreement with Rose Exterminator Company, doing business as Rose Pest Solutions, for establishment of perishable goods cargo fumigation operation at Chicago's O'Hare International Airport. These items passed unanimously by the committee members present. If there are no objections, Madam President, I move for passage of these items by the same roll call as item number 1 on the Committee on Finance, and the same motion to reconsider if there are no objections. This concludes my report.
Hearing no objections, so ordered. Thank you, Chairman O'Shea. Next is the Committee on Committees and Rules, Chairman Harris.
Thank you, Madam President. Reporting for your Committee on Committee Rules, which met Monday, July 20th, 2020 at 2 p.m. The committee recommends passage of the following items. Ordinance 2020-3333, Journal Correction of Proceedings of April 24th, 2020. I move passage of this item by the most favorable roll call vote of the Committee on Finance and
Hearing no
Operation.
objections, so ordered.
Thank you. Item 2, ordinance 2020-3449, amendment of the Municipal Code, Chapter 5-12 and 13-72 to further regulate landlord requirements for the just cause evictions, tenants relocation assistance, and notice requirement for evictions and rental rates increase. The committee recommends that this item be re-referred to the Committee on Housing and Real Estate. I move passage of this recommendation by the same motion if there's no objections.
Hearing no objections, so ordered.
The next item is a proposed resolution regarding a referendum question for 2020 general election ballot concerning the creation of a comprehensive development plan for the city of Chicago. I move passage of this item by the same motion if there are no objections.
Hearing no objections, so ordered.
The next item is a proposed resolution regarding a referendum question for the 2020 general ballot concerning to increase access to broadband internet in the city of Chicago. Same motion if there's no objections.
Hearing no objections, so ordered.
The final item is a proposed resolution regarding the referendum question for the 2020 general election ballot concerning restrictions on the sales or possession of certain firearms and magazines in the state of Illinois. Same motion if there's no objections.
Hearing no objections, so ordered.
That concludes my report.
Thank you, Chairman Harris. Next up, Committee on Contracting Oversight and Equity, Vice Chairman Moore.
Thank you, Madam President. As we continue to keep our Chairman Austin in prayer, I'm reporting for the Committee on Contracting Oversight and Equity, which was held, meeting was held on July 9th, 2020 at 10 a.m. via teleconference. The committee has one item, an ordinance authorizing an amendment to Municipal Code, Chapter 2-92-955 to reestablish veteran-owned small local business participation pilot program, 02020-3458. I move that the City Council concur in the recommendation of the committee by the first most favorable vote on the same roll call as item number 1 of the Committee on Finance report and the same unsuccessful motion to reconsider.
Hearing no objections, so ordered.
This concludes my report on the Committee on Finance, Madam President.
Thank you, sir. Next up, Committee on Economic, Capital, and Technology Development, Chairman Villegas.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the City Council. Reporting for the Committee on Economic, Capital, and Technology Development, which held a meeting on July 9th, 2020. The committee recommends passage of the following. Items 1 through 19 are a series of appointments and reappointments to various special service areas. Diane Tanios to SSA number 78, Lakeview East Commission. David Gassman, David Blitz, Henry Schubert, James Schuman, and John Bucksbaum to SSA number 17, Central Lakeview Commission. Carrie Sullivan and Michael Smith to SSA number 19, Howard Street Commission. John Ratzenberger, Melania Prest, Anthony Quayam to SSA number 21, Lincoln Square Commission. Noreen Kinney and Joshua Reitman to SSA number 34, Uptown Commission. Lisa Duncan to SSA number 24, Clark Street Commission. James Miller to SSA number 27, West Lakeview Commission. Joanne Buckwalter, Mary Giambenko, and Juanita Mora to SSA number 28, Six Corners Commission. Kevin Greco to SSA number 35, Lincoln Avenue Commission. I move passage of these items by the first favorable roll call of the Committee on Finance and the associated unsuccessful motion to reconsider.
Mr. Chairman, can I just clarify item 19, the appointment of Anthony Quayam as a member of the Special Service Area number 21, Lincoln Square Commission. Was that intentionally left off the list?
Madam President, he was named Anthony Quayum.
Okay, thank you, sir. The motion is for passage of these items by the same first roll call vote on the Committee on Finance and the associated unsuccessful motion for reconsideration. Hearing no objection, so ordered. And apologies, Chairman, we have a little difficulty hearing you.
Oh, no problem. Item 20 is an ordinance in support of Class L tax incentive for properties at 2300 and 2304 South Indiana Avenue for McCormick Hospitality South LLC. I move passage of this item by the first favorable roll call vote of the Committee on Finance and the associated unsuccessful motion to reconsider.
Hearing no objection, so ordered.
Item 21 is an ordinance of the certification of Class 8 tax status for acreage in the vicinity of West Parker, North Pulaski Road, and West George Street. I move passage of this item by the first favorable roll call votes of Committee on Finance and the associated unsuccessful motion to reconsider.
Hearing no objection, so ordered.
Thank you, Madam President. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Next, Committee on Education and Child Development. Alderman Scott.
Thank you, Madam President and members of the City Council. Reporting for your Committee on Education and Child Development, for which a meeting was held on June 29th, 2020. I recommend that the following appointments do hereby pass. 1, A 2020-56, an appointment of Laritza Lopez as member of the Board of Trustees of Community College District Number 508. I move to apply the first most favorable roll call of the Committee on Finance and the associated unsuccessful motion to reconsider.
Hearing no objection, so ordered.
This concludes my report.
Thank you, Chairman. Next, the Committee on Health and Human Relations, Chairman Sawyer.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, members of the City Council, reporting for your Committee on Health and Human Relations, which held a meeting on July 6, 2020, recommends passage of the following items. First, R 2020-172, recognition of League of Women Voters on their 100th anniversary and efforts to encourage informed and active participation in government, sponsored by Alderman Vasquez. The next is SO 2020-2827, a substitute ordinance amending Municipal Code Chapter 4-384 to prohibit retail sale of dogs, cats, and rabbits, will be held in committee. Third, SO 2020-2254, a substitute ordinance amending Municipal Code Chapter 7-20 by adding new section 7-20-121 to establish regulations for senior buildings during public health emergencies. I was informed that Alderwoman Maria Haddon would like to speak on this, who was the sponsor.
The chair recognizes Alderman Haddon.
Thank you, Chair. And thank you, Chairman Sawyer. I just want to thank my colleagues. I'm proud to see our city take a first step to protect some of our most vulnerable residents during this pandemic. And a special thank you to all the members of Jane Addams Senior Caucus who've worked tirelessly with me to see this through. So thank you all for your support, and thank you, Chairman Sawyer.
Thank you.
Chairman Sawyer.
Thank you, Madam President. I move passage of these items by the first most favorable roll call vote on the Committee on Finance and associated unsuccessful motion to reconsider.
Hearing no objection, so ordered.
And finally, 02020-3388, a subject matter hearing on the amendment of Municipal Code Chapters 4-64 and 17-17 to prohibit sale of flavored tobacco products and accessory. There was a subject matter hearing on that, and it's being held in committee, and that concludes my report. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Chairman Sawyer. Next, the Committee on Housing and Real Estate, Chairman Osterman.
Thank you, Madam President. Reporting and members of the City Council, reporting for your Committee on Housing and Real Estate, which held a virtual meeting on July 14th, 2020. The committee has a series of reports and recommends the passage of the following. Items 1 through 3 are appointments to the Low Income Housing Trust Fund Board. Adrian Soto is appointed to replace Charles Brown. Justin DeJong is appointed to replace Richard Rowe. And Beth Horowitz is appointed to replace Juan Carlos Linares. I move passage of this item by the first favorable roll call of the Committee on Finance and the associated unsuccessful motion to reconsider.
Hearing no objections, so ordered.
Item 4 is an amendment to the ordinance by extending the temporary moratorium date for building or demolition permits of rezoning residential properties within the 606 residential area to February 1st, 2021. I move passage of this item by the same motion if there's no objection.
Hearing no objections, so ordered.
Item number 5 is an amendment to an agreement regarding scope of development for previously sold properties at 4237-4241 South Wells and 224 West 43rd Street in the 3rd Ward. I move passage of this item by the same motion if there's no objection.
Hearing no objections, so ordered.
Item number 6 is an ordinance approving an acquisition grant of funds to Area-Wide Realty Corporation for rehabilitation of single-family homes in the historic Pullman District in the 9th Ward. I move passage of this item by the same motion if there's no objection.
Hearing no objections, so ordered.
Item number 7 is a substitute ordinance, which is known as the Fair Notice Ordinance, which extends notice that landlords must provide tenants when increasing rent or for non-renewal of leases. Additionally, it provides a one-time cure for renters to pay back rent. This is a ordinance that came through collaboration with members of the Housing Committee and housing advocates. It is supported by organizations like the Urban League and the Rehab Network. I ask for a favorable support of this ordinance and would like to close if there are those seeking recognition. But I move passage of this ordinance by the same motion if there's no objection.
Roll call.
I object. Alderman Lopez.
Alderman Riley requests a roll call.
There's a roll call request. Madam Clerk.
Point of order, Chairman. Madam President, Alderman Lopez.
Chair recognizes Alderman Lopez.
Thank you, Madam President, for a point of order. Are we having discussion on this matter?
Yes, you asked for a roll call vote. We were moving forward on your roll call vote. Are you now asking for a discussion on it before the roll call?
Well, the chairman said that there was opportunity for discussion, and then he made a motion for immediate consideration. So I had my.
You asked for a roll call vote. I'm asking now to clarify what you would like to do, sir. If you would like to speak.
I would like to speak on the matter, Madam President. Yes, ma'am.
Madam President, a roll call was called. We go to roll call immediately.
I'm not going to cut off debate. Alderman Lopez, I believe, raised his hand and actually wants to speak. And then if there's a motion for roll call, we'll deal with that. Alderman Lopez, please proceed.
Thank you, Madam President. I appreciate that, truly. I do wish to raise my concerns, as I did during committee, about this ordinance. I am concerned because this places yet another undue burden on the small unit owners that make up many buildings to ownership throughout the city of Chicago. They own the 2 flats and 3 flats in communities like the Brighton Park and West Englewood. They own the 4 and 5 flats in.
Lopez, can I please ask the members, if you are not speaking, to mute yourself because it's disruptive to the person who's speaking. Sorry, Alderman Lopez, please proceed.
Thank you again, Madam President. As I was saying, they represent the majority of the buildings owned by in the Brighton Park and West Englewood communities, the 4 and 5 unit buildings in the back of the yards communities, landlords who are not big developers, landlords who are not using this as part of a large portfolio, but they are the property owners who are left holding the bag as we try to address one housing crisis and supplement it with another. I understand, Madam President, your administration's concern for trying to avoid a housing crisis for renters. And I truly appreciate you looking out for renters during these tough and difficult times. But what concerns me and what has continued to concern me and what will continue to concern me as we see more of these types of ordinances come down the pike is that we are shifting the burden on individuals who are in no position to afford carrying a greater burden when their renters do not meet their obligations. I understand that we are providing provisions, and I applaud Chairman Osterman for working with a collaborative group, but yet we are still having issues, still getting concerns, and I'm still getting phone calls every day from those small building owners worried about tens of thousands of dollars in rent that they will never see, and having to shoulder burden and still pay mortgages, utility bills without any kind of relief from the city, while they are still being forced to shoulder these tenants in their crisis. We are exacerbating a crisis for the owners. I've said it before, and I think it bears repeating again. We will have a foreclosure crisis on these units if we continue with policies like this that do not incorporate some sort of relief for those small unit building owners. They are the backbone of many of our communities, from the south, southwest, and west sides all the way to the north side. They're not multimillionaires. They look like most of us. We have to be there to protect them. And I ask my colleagues to join me in opposing this ordinance because it does not provide enough measures to ensure that they as well are protected in our efforts. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Alderman Lopez. The chair recognizes Alderman Sixto Lopez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to make sure, as we have this issue on the table, that we understand this ordinance as it is. There is certainly a lot of work that needs to be done in terms of housing. That's a given. But I think it is important to clarify, some assumptions that are being made about this ordinance. That again, it is by no means is going to solve all of the issues, and I think just a first step in the right direction. We work with several aldermen within the housing. I really want to commend Alderman Osterman, who not only help us table a few things that were not clear. Precisely what Alderman Lopez is mentioning was one of the issues that we agree on, to make sure that we have a working group so that we can differentiate the small homeowners versus the big developers that are right now speculating still in the middle of a pandemic and are evicting people and filing evictions. So I want to make sure that we don't lose sight of what we're voting on, because it's important. We have a commitment from the housing chair, and it was a very complex issue, to make sure that we have a working group to discuss precisely that, how we're going to ensure that we don't put extra burden on homeowners, small homeowners, but also to make sure that we don't allow developers to continue with the same practices of the past, when they have given 30-day notice to renters, to tenants, and they continue to profit in the middle of a pandemic. On top of that, the issue that we have is that developers have a particular advantage right now of liquidity. And right now, we don't do anyone any justice if we don't have any sort of protection for tenants. I do think that this does not, by no means, put an unreasonable burden on the homeowners. This ordinance in particular, what it does is to do something that is common sense. We right now, when we face a huge crisis, an unprecedented situation where we can be facing thousands of evictions that are being filed right now, we have to be responsible. And I want to urge my colleagues, we all represent tenants and homeowners alike. This is not about pitching tenants against homeowners. This is about drafting good policy to make sure that we prevent the harshest thing that we can experience as a community, that is evictions. The traumatic experience of a family or a senior or a veteran or anybody in a vulnerable position, to make sure that we protect them if we can prevent evictions as much as we can. There's a lot of work to be done, and that's what we're not done yet. We have a commitment of 2 steps. First, have a working group to discuss the relocation assistance so that developers are the ones paying for this, and they should, and they will not be exempt. Now, what we do need to be careful with is to help the homeowners. A lot of work to be done. I think we have discussed with the administration the need to bring housing relief so the homeowners and tenants get some help. And in the absence of a federal administration acting quickly to hold banks accountable, we do need to make sure that we work in every level of government to make this possible. but I do caution us to make sure that doing nothing at this point will be harmful. And being one of the most vocal voices in terms of housing, and I tell you, we reached a fair compromise. Not only, and I want to thank also the administration to working with us on this, to put a working group in place and also working to get just cause out of rules. We need to make sure that we continue to working, but we need to stop this discourse of pitching homeowners against tenants. We need to start working legislatively to make and provide solutions. Doing nothing will put tenants at risk, and we will continue working together to also help homeowners. That's the responsible thing to do. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. The chair recognizes Alderman Sposato.
Thank you, Madam President. I didn't plan on speaking on this. I just planned on being a no. But we had a speaker, a public comment speaker, and then Alderman Lopez kind of hit it pretty good. We're just destroying the small guy. I mean, I have many tree flats in my, well, not many, probably less than most people, but enough, and they're mostly owner tenants, and they get a bad tenant in there that not only hurts them, it hurts the other 2 or 3 or whatever amount of people that are in that building. You just terrorize the building. There's a thing out there called cash for keys, and by dismay, I guess a lot of my colleagues never heard of that, but cash for keys is you get these bad tenants, it takes you forever to get rid of them, so you'll give them money. You'll say, here's $5 grand, here's 10 grand, just leave. This way you don't have to worry about them destroying the place or losing even more rent for 6 months, 9 months further. But this is just not something I could support. I feel for some tenants with some bad landlords. I've experienced more of my time with the bad tenants, with the family-owned business. The family-owned apartments that just wreak havoc in a 3-flat, a 6-flat, or whatever. So I urge my colleagues not to support this. People are not going to want to own apartment buildings in this city anymore, just making it too tough on them. So with that, I appreciate the opportunity to speak. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Alderman Sposato. The chair recognizes Alderman Riley.
Thank you, Madam President. I also had not planned on speaking on this item today and had planned on simply voting no. But based on some of the testimony here, I think I have to say that this is one of those not so regular occasions where I do agree with Alderman Ray Lopez. I do support the administration's work to try and provide relief, much needed relief, to renters who are at risk of being displaced. I'm also not terribly sympathetic to real estate developers and large landlords that sometimes work to game the system to prematurely eject tenants. All of those are legitimate concerns, but I also have a number of residents in my ward who have a studio apartment that they rent out as an income property. These are not multimillionaires driving around in Rolls Royces. These are regular working people that were able to sock away savings to buy an investment property like a studio or a 1-bedroom. And so while I think there are many components of this ordinance that are good, my concern is that without recognizing the mortgage obligations many of these small landlords have, we could inadvertently be forcing foreclosures on folks that are otherwise providing space for tenants to live. So again, I hadn't planned on testifying, but because I think this issue needs more work, I'll be voting no. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Alderman Riley. The chair recognizes Alderman Ramirez Rosa.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I would like to begin by thanking the Lawyers Committee for Better Housing, the Autonomous Tenant Union, the Housing Justice League, so many housing justice organizations that have been coming together and fighting prior to this pandemic and during this pandemic for simple and basic decent protections for the tenants here in the city of Chicago. We have to understand that because of the high rents that tenants pay all across the city, whether that be the south side, the west side, or the north side, housing landlords have been able to keep up with rising property taxes, have been able to keep up with the maintenance of their buildings. And so this is an ecosystem where tenants are necessary and tenants are key for the survival and for the thriving nature of our neighborhoods. And this is a start. Because of the strong advocacy that these organizations have been doing, we're here today. we are working on passing this ordinance today. This wouldn't have happened if it hadn't been for their strong advocacy, for their pushing the city to do more. Unfortunately, our city still has to do more. You know, most decent, fair landlords understand that 30 days is not enough to find a new apartment. It's not enough in the best of times. It's not enough in the worst of times. And right now, we are certainly in a very tough time. And so this is an appropriate measure to move forward on. It's going to make sure that people have a little bit more time to be able to find that apartment, to be able to find that home. It's going to help us address some of the issues related to displacement in our neighborhoods, which I think we all want to see addressed. When we talk about the US Census, when we talk about the importance of having thriving, populated neighborhoods, we have to understand that the issue of displacement and the lack of meaningful tenant protections here in the city of Chicago has a very real world impact on that. It's one of the reasons why we've seen so many working class Latinx families pushed out of neighborhoods. It's one of the reasons why we've seen hundreds of thousands of Black Chicagoans pushed out of these neighborhoods. Other cities have moved forward on much stronger tenant protections. I hope that we as a city will also do that. We need to move forward on just cause for eviction, but this is a start. And so while this is not the tenant protections that I'd like to see, this is a very good start. This is an important measure. I will be voting yes on this measure. I hope that my colleagues will support it. I want to thank the mayor and Chairman Osterman for their leadership on this issue, making sure that we've gotten to this point thus far. Let's pass this. 30 days is not enough for so many working families. 90 days is very reasonable. And as I just stated, most fair and reasonable landlords are already providing this to their tenants. So let's just make sure that it's the floor here in the city of Chicago. It's basic decency, it's basic respect, and it's going to go a long way during this pandemic. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman. The chair recognizes Alderman Cardenas.
Sorry about that, Madam President. I was going to speak on this, so I'll go ahead and vote on it immediately. There's a lot of discussion. Committee was very lengthy in debate. The issue nausea. It's definitely not a perfect. It's not something that I would usually support. It hits 2 flats and 3 flats, which is my community in Brighton. But I also recognize that some folks are taking advantage of circumstances in gentrification areas and are pushing out our community members. I didn't work home ownership, not just renters, because that's the American way. That's where my parents came and bought the first many moons ago, just like many other immigrants, which have made it a success in this city. This is why I stand here today. This ordinance obviously is units, except in the -30 ordinance section, which basically, if you're month to month, you're going to receive this benefit. Again, I'm going to be voting yes, but I'll be the first one to start rescinding if we see patterns of abuse, and I'll be able to see that because people are going to come by me asking help in evicting people that are abusing this practice. I'm not happy about the bill, but I do want to send a message to greedy developers that there is a sense of community in some parts of the city. There's a sense of just being a human and being a good neighbor and a good citizen that the city right now badly needs it from everyone. We got to come together and heal the city and move it forward. It's a sad time for us right now and with so many challenges. Nevertheless, I hope my colleagues think through this. It's not perfect. It is not. I think I voted no in committee. I thought long and hard how I would vote on this. I've been lobbied severely on this to not vote on it. But I do think that there's something to be said for folks in our communities that are beset by gentrification. So I'll close with that. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Alderman. The chair recognizes Alderwoman Rodriguez Sanchez.
Thank you, Madam President. I want to assert my support for fair notice ordinance. I want to invite my colleagues to vote in favor of this ordinance. I want to say that this is the bare minimum that we can do right now in this moment when we are facing possibly mass evictions in our city. People deserve time to be able to adjust. We know that there are not enough resources. We know that we don't have the answer for the scale of the pain and the hurt that people are going to be facing as we face mass evictions. I also want to say that the assumption that tenants are acting on bad faith is very disingenuous. In my experience in my office, we have had so many people calling us trying to figure out how they can get the resources to be able to pay their rent. People want to be able to pay their rent. So I want to echo the words of my colleague, Alderman Ramirez Rosa, thank the mayor for her leadership in this ordinance, but also all the groups that have been pushing so hard to make sure that tenants have protection. And I'm really hopeful that we will be able to end up passing just cause for eviction. In the meantime, I think this is the bare minimum that we can have. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderwoman. The chair recognizes Alderman Sposato.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I also want to be counted in support of this ordinance and call for my colleagues' support. I want to thank everyone who made this a truly collaborative process, from the Department of Housing to Chairman Osterman to Madam Mayor, your leadership and the work within your administration. Because we know that the challenge that the city is facing with evictions is not new. The Lawyers Committee for Better Housing compiles data on this, and we know in an average year, we see 23,000 evictions filed in the city of Chicago. 60% of those result in eviction orders. 79% of our landlords have attorneys, as opposed to only 11% of their tenants. That is in an average year, and we are in the middle of anything but an average year for Chicago. And so while I know that we have a long ways to go in terms of equitable protections and relief for both tenants and landlords, I really applaud the city and my colleagues for taking this first step and recognizing that the next steps of this include just cause for eviction and hopefully down the line, right to counsel for tenants. So thank you all for your support today, and I really encourage your support.
Thank you, Alderman. The chair recognizes Alderman King.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam President. And I wasn't going to speak on this as well, but I think this is, a fair and balanced ordinance. So I do want to thank you, Mayor, for your leadership, for Chairman Osterman's leadership, and the commissioners' leadership on this. And I just want to correct some of the misconception on what this ordinance is. So first of all those folks were talking about small units, 2 and 3 flats. This ordinance exempts those units from the right to cure. This ordinance really only gives those residents who have been living in a building for years more time if a landlord decides not to renew their leases. Something, that I've seen in my ward, literally where I had, Mayor, a pastor that we both know, mother, given 30 days to leave their home that they've known for years. And she had Alzheimer's. She's since passed away, bless her heart. But, we have to be balanced about this. We just, and landlords will still have the ability to, in the first year and second year and third year, if they, find a tenant to be, not a good tenant, they will have, all the recourses that they've already had. So this is really, I think a very fair, a very balanced approach for everybody. I think we can do more, honestly, for our tenants. There's a lot of suffering going on, but I think this is a very good start. And there's a lot of misconception about, what it actually is. So I just wanted to set the record straight on that, because I've heard a couple of my colleagues talk about, smaller units. Well, those units are exempt from this ordinance. And this is really fair and balanced. So thank you again for your leadership and for your team's leadership on this.
Thank you, Alderman King. The chair recognizes Alderman Hopkins.
Yeah, thank you, Madam President. I agree with my colleague, Alderman King. 30 days is not enough. That is unconscionable. Whether you're a longtime tenant or you just moved in, that's not enough notice. But 120 days is excessive. It is too long. A compromise in 90 days was presented for this. That is reasonable. That is appropriate. And if we were talking about that, I would be in support of this, but we're not. 120 days is excessive, and this is not fair and balanced, and I will be voting no. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman. The chair recognizes Alderman Curtis.
Thank you, Madam President. I was a person that was torn. One second, can you hear me here? Yep. I was a person that was torn between this vote. Alderman King actually just gave me that last tip to supporting this wholeheartedly, but we do have to work on this ordinance just a little more, because it's so hard getting some of these bad tenants out of these properties. But I am in full support of this ordinance now, because I don't have to worry about those smaller unit owners knowing that they are exempt. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Alderman Curtis. The chair recognizes Alderman Dow.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. I wanted to echo what my colleague Alderman Hopkins said. 90 days notice instead of 120 days notice to any tenant is more than sufficient. Alderman Rosa said that 30 days was not good. We agree with that, but 90 days was reasonable. And I think that adding 120 days to this ordinance is unreasonable, and I will be voting no. Thank you, Madam President.
Madam President, if there's no other speakers, I'd like to close and clarify.
One moment, Mr. Chairman. I believe we do have one more speaker, and that's Alderman Harrison. And I would just ask, we need to wind down this discussion. So if anyone else wants to speak, please raise your hand now so that we can proceed expeditiously. The chair recognizes Alderman Harrison.
Thank you, Madam President. I too had not planned on saying anything, and I agree that under normal circumstances, 120 days would be unreasonable. But under the circumstances that we find ourselves in today, the numerous people that don't have their jobs, have job insecurity, I think it's important that we give them the extra time that they need to get the money. So I will be supporting this.
Thank you, Alderman Harrison. Chairman Osterman, I think it's back to you now.
I'll be brief and I'll close, and I want to echo Alderman King's comments to kind of clarify what this ordinance does. The ordinance does two basic things, and it's important to say that. One is it extends the notice when a rent is going to be increased by a landlord to a tenant, to give a tenant the ability to know that a rent increase is coming, which is significant for families that are trying to stay in their units. The other part is when they're not going to have their lease renewed. Extending that to allow them to find a new place to live is a basic, fair thing that we need to do throughout the times that we are in Chicago, but specifically in the middle of a pandemic, that families have the ability to know where and how they're able to go get a new unit. This is something that we will continue to work on. The other thing that it does is allows for tenants that get a 5-day notice to settle up and pay their rent before an eviction notice is put in by a judge, so that they can stay in a unit and the landlord gets the tenant. So those are the two things that it does. These are basic minimums that I think we can to provide stable housing for people in Chicago. This does not forego rent that is not paid. This does not allow someone who's conducting criminal behavior in a building to continue to do that. It's a basic thing that we can do for citizens, for stable housing in Chicago. I appreciate the discussion today in committee. These are things that we are going to continue to work on. But I would ask my colleagues today to take this important step to provide needed stability for tenants around the city of Chicago, provide that notice, and I ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Chairman. Alderman Lopez, are you renewing your motion for a roll call vote?
Yes, Madam President, I am renewing my motion for roll call vote on this matter.
Clerk, please proceed.
Alderman Sposato.
Aye, sorry.
Alderman Hopkins.
No.
Alderman Dow.
No.
Alderman King.
Aye.
Alderman Hairston.
Aye.
Alderman Sawyer.
Aye.
Alderman Mitchell.
No.
Alderman Harris.
No.
Alderman Beal.
No.
Alderman Zalowski Garza.
Aye.
Alderman Thompson.
No.
Alderman Cardenas.
Aye.
Alderman Quinn.
Aye.
Alderman Burke.
No.
Alderman Lopez.
Absolutely no.
Alderman Coleman.
No.
Alderman Moore.
Yes.
Alderman Curtis.
Aye.
Alderman O'Shea.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor. Alderman Taylor.
Yes.
Alderman Brookins.
No.
Alderman Rodriguez.
Aye.
Sorry, Alderman Brookins, it was hard to hear you. Were you a no?
No.
Okay, thank you. Alderman Tavares. Alderman Tavares. Alderman Scott.
Aye.
Alderman Cicho Lopez.
Aye.
Alderman Maldonado.
Aye.
Alderman Burnett.
Aye.
Alderman Irvin. Alderman Irvin. Alderman Taliaferro.
Aye.
Alderman Raboyes.
Aye.
Alderman Cardona.
Aye.
Alderman Wagaspack.
Aye.
Alderman Rodriguez Sanchez.
Aye.
Alderman Austin. Alderman Ramirez Rosa.
Aye.
Alderman Villegas.
Aye.
Alderman Mitz.
Aye.
Alderman Sposato.
No.
Alderman Nugent.
Yes.
Alderman Vasquez.
Yes.
Alderman Napolitano.
No.
Alderman Smith.
Aye.
What about Riley? What about Riley?
Alderman Smith.
Aye.
Alderman Tunney.
Was Alderman Riley called or no?
No, we're at Alderman Tunney.
Aye.
Alderman Riley, though.
You missed.
You
We're at
skipped-
Alderman Tunney. I didn't say Alderman Riley yet.
No, you skipped 42nd Ward, clerk.
You skipped 40 seconds.
Oh, I'm sorry. We had Smith down twice. Sorry. Thank you for that clarification, Alderman. Alderman Riley.
No.
Alderman Tunney.
Yes.
Alderman Gardner.
No.
Alderman Cappleman.
Yes.
Alderman Martin.
Yes.
Alderman Osterman.
Aye.
Alderman Haddon.
Aye.
Alderman Silverstein,
Aye.
Alderman Tabarez votes aye.
Alderman Tabarez votes aye.
Alderman Irvin votes aye.
Alderman Irvin votes aye.
I got 35 to 14.
Your Honor, there are 35 yeas and 14 nays.
I'm sorry, Mr. Clerk, can you repeat that?
There are 35 yeas and 14 nays.
The motion passes. Chairman, I'm sorry, Alderman Burnett, can we turn to you for the motion for reconsideration?
So move.
All those in favor of the motion for reconsideration signify by saying aye.
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 No.
All those opposed, say no.
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 The noes have it. The motion for reconsideration fails. Chairman Osterman, back to you.
Thank you, Madam President. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Next committee, Committee on License and Consumer Protection. Chairman Mitz from the mighty West Side.
Thank you. Madam President and members of the City Council, I'm reporting for the Committee on License and Consumer Protection. We held a virtual meeting on July the 16th, 2020, and the following items were passed by the committee. Item number 02020-2915 is a substitute ordinance calling for a 6-month extension of city-issued businesses license required under Title 4 and 9 of the Municipal Code. I move that the City Council concur in the recommendation of the License Committee and passes this item by the same roll call vote as item number 1 of the Committee on Finance report and the same unsuccessful motion to reconsider.
Hearing no objection, so ordered.
Item number 2 was 02020-3596, an ordinance to temporarily amend the Municipal Code of Chicago regarding night games scheduling exception for the City Chicago Cubs during the 2020 baseball season. I move passage of the item by the same motion if there's no objection.
Hearing no objection to the Cubs playing night games, even though they're getting beaten up by my favorite White Sox. Hearing no objection, so ordered.
Second.
Go Sox.
The third item is 2 ordinances regarding a moratorium in the 12th and the 27th ward. I move passage of these items by the same motion if there is no objection.
Hearing no objection, so ordered.
That concludes my report, Madam President.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Next, the Committee on Pedestrian and Traffic Safety, Alderman Burnett, another proud West Sider.
Thank you, Madam President. Reporting for your Committee on Pedestrian and Traffic Safety, for which a meeting was held on Monday, July 13th, 2020, and reconvened on Friday, July 17th, 2020. Before the committee, there were 206 items. There were 203 routine items that passed and 3 routine items that did not pass. There was 1 item introduced by Mayor Lori Lightfoot for a amendment of the Municipal Code Titles 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15 at various sections related to or impacting vehicle impoundment. If there's no objections, I move for the passage of these ordinances in the omnibus. That concludes my report. Thank you, Madam President.
Hearing no objection, so ordered. Next committee, Special Events, Cultural Affairs, and Recreation, Chairman Sposato.
Madam President, members of the City Council, reporting for your Committee on Special Events, Cultural Affairs, and Recreation, for which a meeting was held on July 1st, 2020. The committee recommends the passage of the following 1 item. A 2020-57, reappointment of Jose M. Munoz as Commissioner of the Chicago Park District. I move passage of this item by the first favorable roll call of the Committee on Finance and associated unsuccessful motion to reconsider.
Hearing no objection, so ordered.
Thank you, Madam President. This concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Next, the Committee on Transportation and Public Way, Chairman Brookins.
Thank you, Madam President. Reporting for your Committee on Transportation and Public Way, a meeting which was held on July 16, 2020. The following ordinances were passed by a majority of the members present. On page 2, item 1, an ordinance for mayoral introduced by the mayor's office. Under Rule 14 of the Rules of Order and Procedures of the Chicago City Council, Alderman Burke abstains from voting on the following item. Mayoral 02020-3497 due to practice in law with other attorneys in the law firm. Other attorneys in the firm represented N-Wave Chicago LLC within the preceding 12 months in a property tax appeal at the Cook County Assessor, Cook County Board of Review, and Illinois Property Tax Appeal Board. Pages 3 through 23 include 242 ordinances for grants of privileges introduced by the local aldermen from wards 1 through 3, 5, 10, 11, 13 through 15, 18, 19, 21 through 30, 32, 35, 39 through 44, and 46 through 49. Page 24 includes 10 ordinances for canopies introduced by the local aldermen from wards 5, 13, 27, 42, 43, and 47. Pages 25 through 38 includes 155 ordinances for sidewalk cafes introduced by the local aldermen from wards 1 through 3, 5, 10, 11, 22, 27 through 30, 32, 35, 36, 38 through 40, 42 through 48, and 50. Page 39 includes 9 ordinances for miscellaneous items introduced by the local aldermen from wards 5, 22, 30, 32, and 42 through 44. Page 40 includes 2 subdivision ordinances located in the 10th and 41st wards. Page 41 includes 1 easement, 1 dedication ordinance, and 2 vacation ordinances located in the 10th, 24th, 27th, and 39th wards. Madam President, if there are no objections, I move passage of these items by the last most favorable roll call vote on the Committee on Finance and the associated unsuccessful motion to reconsider.
Hearing no objection, so ordered.
Thank you, Madam President. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Next, Committee on Workforce Development, Chairman Sadlowski Garza.
Thank you, Madam President. Proud Southeast Sider. Reporting for your Committee on Workforce Development, which held a meeting on July 15th, 2020. There was one item on the agenda, 02020-3592- it was a collective bargaining agreements with the Policemen's Benevolent and Protective Association of Illinois. Unit 156 captains, Unit 156 lieutenants, and Unit 156 sergeants. 02020-3592 was passed unanimously by majority voice vote. Hearing no objections, I move for the first most favorable vote on the Committee on Finance report and the corresponding unsuccessful motion to reconsider.
Chairman, I believe one of your colleagues wishes to be heard. The chair recognizes Alderman Vasquez.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to be recorded as a no vote for this one.
So reflected.
Thank you.
Back to you, Chairman.
Thank you, Madam President. This concludes the report on Committee on Workforce Development.
One moment. With the exception of Alderman Vasquez's no vote, I hear no other objection. And so your motion for passage by the first most favorable vote of the Committee on Finance and the associated unsuccessful motion for reconsideration is granted.
Thank you, Madam President. Then this concludes the report on Committee on Workforce Development.
All right, thank you. Our last committee, Committee on Zoning, Landmarks, and Building Standards, Chairman Tunney.
Madam President and members of the City Council, presenting a series of reports for your Committee on Zoning, Landmarks, and Building Standards, which held a meeting on July 21st, 2020. These reports are grouped for convenience. The following items were passed by a majority of the members present. Page 1 contains a mayoral amendment of Municipal Code Titles 2 and 15 by adding new chapter 2-30 entitled Multi-Agency Regulation of Implosions and section 15-4-311, providing for additional requirements for license to use explosives for demolition of buildings, structure and/or structures. I move passage of this item by the first most favorable roll call vote of the Finance Committee report and the associated unsuccessful motion to reconsider.
Mr. Chairman, I believe that we have one of your colleagues, Alderman Bill, that wishes to be heard. The chair recognizes Alderman Beal.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to be recorded as no on that item.
Okay, so reflected. With the exception of Alderman Beal, I hear no further objections, so the motion is granted.
Page 1 contains a text amendment introduced by Alderman Brendan Riley of Municipal Code Chapter 17-4 by adding new section 17-4-1100 to establish requirements for roll-up, overhead, and sliding security gates or doors. I move passage of this item by the same motion if there is no objection.
Hearing no objection, so ordered.
Page 1 through 8 contains various map amendments in the 5th, 10th, 18th, 22nd, 27th, 28th, 30th, 32nd, 33rd, 35th, 36th, 37th, 43rd, 45th, 46th, and 47th wards. Note that Alderman Burke abstains from voting on document number 02020-2899 for the address commonly known as 3216 West 87th Street under the provisions of Rule 14. Alderman Burke previously practiced law with other attorneys in a law firm. Other attorneys in the firm represented Bridge 33 Capital within the preceding 12 months in the property tax appeals at the Cook County Assessor, Cook County Board of Review, and Illinois Property Tax Appeal Board relating to this property. I move passage of these items by the same motion if there is no objection, with the exception of document number 02020-2990 for the address commonly known as 4837 through 4841 North Lips Avenue, which is being held in committee. Page 8 contains various large signs over 100 square feet in area, 24 feet above grade, in the 1st, 3rd, 11th, 25th, and 28th wards. I move passage of these items by the same motion if there is no objection.
Hearing no objection, so ordered.
Page 9 contains a historical landmark fee waiver for the properties located at 5023, 5029, and 5035 South Greenwood Avenue. I move passage of this item by the same motion if there is no objection.
Hearing no objection, so ordered.
Page 9 contains a direct introduction to the committee tolling code section 2-120-705 to permit the further consideration of a proposed Pilsen landmark district. I move passage of this item by the same motion if there is no objection.
Madam Chairman.
Hold on, sir. Please. We actually do things in an orderly fashion. I see your hand raised. I will call on you. Just give me a moment. Mr. Chairman, I believe that now 2 of your colleagues wish to be heard. The chair recognizes Alderman Siccho Lopez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I do certainly hope that we do things in the council in an orderly fashion, because that's not really what happened in this extension of that landmark proposal in the 25th ward without consultation with my office. And that sets a horrible precedent in our city in terms of how we want to engage our community with a due process. So I just want to make sure that it is clear on record that I was forced with no option to vote on an extension that could have tremendous implications, especially for homeowners. So I just heard about the importance of helping homeowners in our districts. So that is one thing that we need to make sure that we don't do, is to put extra hurdles. The experiment that the administration tried to rush and to push in my community is simply unacceptable. And to not be given even the choice to introduce a substitute, it is also reprehensible. We do need to, in the council, make sure that we now, especially in the pandemic, work with our constituents to make sure that we help them, that we take away some of the red tape. But what I saw, and after multiple attempts to have a decent process, concerns me. To have the administration back a plan that came from my predecessor, and we all know the scandals before me, but to have this almost forced and imposed on my community is not acceptable. And I just want to be on record that the only reason why we could not kill this proposal is because of parliamentary maneuvering and the shameful tax of the past. Those tactics, I hope that they're condemned and they're no longer part of our council. It is reprehensible to be blindsided. Not only my office was blindsided, but also my community and my stakeholders. 95% of my constituents sign affidavits, seal affidavits against this proposal. Where's the democracy now? How are we going to help the homeowners when we put extra hurdles? Right now we have seniors, low-income families who have to go in front of Landmark Commission and hire architects. We put 800 homeowners at risk because the responsibility of this administration. I'm no longer going to accept those kind of practices, Madam Mayor. Let's make sure that from now on, we work in collaboration. We want to have shared governance. We want to make sure that we do what's right. But blindsiding residents and my administration is not the way to proceed. I hope the chairman of the commission, I'm glad, and I want to say this. I want to thank my colleagues for listening to not only my constituents, but listening to our arguments, but for what this is not the way to go. We do need a comprehensive plan for Pilsen, and I welcome what happened in Woodlawn. This is what we need, but impositions on any community are not acceptable. This process and this behavior has to stop. We need to have respect for each other's office. The executive cannot overreach and use an expired emergency ordinance to try to impose something on my community. So again, I look forward to work together with Commissioner Cox and the rest of the planning department, but we are elected to make sure that we listen to our constituents and not to those who want to play saviors in communities that they never even visited before. So again, I want to make sure that I have a commitment from the chairman to make sure that at the next council and next zoning meeting, we have that on the floor. I don't want to wait to wait on a matter that's already decided by my constituents.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Chairman, if I may, I normally don't inject myself in these conversations, but since the alderman addressed me directly, I feel compelled to do so. Alderman Lopez, you are very well aware that members of my administration spent countless hours trying to engage you. There was a robust community engagement process before you were elected, and that continued after you were elected. And as I well know, and you know, the committee chairman himself also spent a considerable time with you. The purpose of this 6 months extension is to allow for continued engagement, sir. This is not blindsiding. This is not anything other than trying to give you plenty of time and your community plenty of time to be heard, instead of allowing this act to go into effect without any further discussion. So I take great umbrage to the suggestion that you were blindsided, or anyone in your community was, given the enormous amount of time that Chairman Cox and other members of the Department of Planning, as well as the chairman, have spent with you. You may not be happy, but to suggest that somehow this was sprung on you is simply not correct, and the record clearly speaks otherwise. Chairman Tunney.
Madam Chair, I renew my motion on this item if there's no further objection.
And actually, I wanted to note for my committee members that the vote was unanimous, including Cicho Lopez, to extend this tolling ordinance. We spent, as you said, even yesterday, we spent probably 3 hours on this one issue. And my commitment is to continue to work with the community and Cicho Lopez on the direction, whether it be landmarking or not in the future, in an expedient manner. So I'm saying that on the record, but I renew my motion on this ordinance.
Yeah, and I want again, and I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to clear the record.
Alderman, you don't blurt out. We have rules of order. You've raised your hand. I will recognize you. But please, sir, conduct yourself with a modicum of dignity. And since it's your second time to be heard on the same motion just today, in addition to the time that was spent on committee, I will grant you a short amount of time. We must move on, sir. There's other business of the council. So please, Alderman Cicho Lopez, briefly.
And I'll be very brief because it's important to clarify the record. Yes, indeed, Mayor, there was a one-year process where we already decided in my community. Unilaterally, there was a decision to extend that and not give me any option. And your process was to give me days, 2 days. I was notified of this on a Friday, and the vote was on Tuesday. So let's just make sure that when you talk about a process, let's talk exactly. And I want to make sure that you may have been missing some of the briefings. So I hope that the Commissioner Cox tells you a little bit about the process. A year process and a 6-month extension where low-income residents and homeowners now have to spend 6 more months in front of the Landmark Commission.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Tunney, Chairman Tunney, you have a motion for passage of this matter on the first favorable vote of the Committee on Finance and the related unsuccessful motion for reconsideration.
Yes.
Hearing no other comment, so ordered.
Madam President, that concludes my report from a South Side Cub fan, just by the way, just for a little bit of levity on the whole situation. So, yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Next, the agreed calendar. Chairman Harris.
Thank you. I've received from the clerk, Anna Valencia, a total of 112 items proposed for the agreed calendar, consisting of congratulatory, commemorative, tributary resolutions for the following elected officials: Mayor Lori E. Lightford, Clerk Andrea M. Valencia, Alderman Patrick Thompson, Alderman Marty Quinn, Alderman Edward M. Burke, Alderman Raymond Lopez, Alderman Matthew O'Shea, Alderman Howard Brookins, Alderman Michael Rodriguez, Alderman Savannah Tabares, Alderman Kerry Austin, Alderman Carlos Ramirez Rosa, Alderman Gilbert Villegas, Alderman Nicholas Sposato, Alderman Samantha Nugent, Alderman Andre Velasquez, Alderman James Gardner, Alderman Harry Osterman, and Alderman Maria Haddon. I move with the passage of the agreed calendar in the omnibus.
Hearing no objection, so ordered. New business. The clerk will call the wards beginning with the 50th.
Claims, free permits, license fee exemptions, which are referred to the Committee on Zoning, Landmarks, which is referred to the Committee on Finance. Zoning amendments, which are referred to the Committee on Zoning, Landmarks, and Building Standards. Traffic regulations, traffic control signals, and traffic signs, which are referred to the Committee on Pedestrian and Traffic Safety. Grants of privilege on and over the public way, which are referred to the Committee on Transportation and Public Way. An exemption from physical barrier requirements for commercial driveway alley access for parking facilities, which are referred to the Committee on Transportation and Public Way. Alderman Haddon has a proposed ordinance for an honorary street designation as Honorary Romola Rouse Way, which is referred to the Committee on Transportation and Public Way. Alderman Haddon and others have a proposed resolution for recognition of India's 74th anniversary of independence and a call for condemnation of violence against certain castes and faith groups, which is referred to the Committee on Health and Human Relations. Alderman Martin has a proposed ordinance for amendment of Municipal Code Section 2-56-245 to further regulate responses to recommendations by Deputy Inspector General for Public Safety, which is referred to the Committee on Public Safety. Alderman Gardner has a proposed ordinance for amendment of Municipal Code Section 2-152-410 to establish requirements for qualified veterans concerning mandatory appointments and retirement age of police officers and firefighters, which is referred to the Committee on Public Safety. Alderman Tunney has a proposed ordinance for a call for Special Service Area Number 27 to negotiate and finalize sale and waive People Spot and Cafe People Spot street furniture, which is referred to the Committee on Economic, Capital, and Technology Development. Alderman Tunney also has a proposed order for the issuance of signs and signboards, which is referred to the Committee on Zoning, Landmarks, and Building Standards. Alderman Riley has proposed orders for the issuance of permits for sign and signboards, which are referred to the Committee on Zoning, Landmarks, and Building Standards. Alderman Villegas has a proposed ordinance for amendment of Municipal Code Section 16-8-070 to further regulate rezoning and conversion areas, which is referred to the Committee on Zoning, Landmarks, and Building Standards. Alderman Villegas also has a proposed ordinance for amendment of Municipal Code Section 2-50-040 to require Commissioner of Family and Support Services to establish counseling and support program for minors and young adults exposed to homicides and violent acts executed by firearms, which is referred to the Committee on Budget and Government Operations. Villegas also has a proposed resolution to call for hearings on predatory towing practices and establishment of enforcement procedures, which is referred to the Committee on Finance. Alderman Ramirez Rosa has a proposed ordinance for amendment of Municipal Code Section 4-60-022 to allow additional alcoholic liquor licenses on portion of West Fullerton Avenue, which is referred to the Committee on License and Consumer Protection. Alderman Ramirez Rosa also has a proposed ordinance for an honorary street designation as Lena Marie Nunez Añana Way, which is referred to the Committee on Transportation and Public Way. Alderman Rodriguez Sanchez and others have a proposed resolution expressing opposition to Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency's Enforcement and Removal Operations Citizenry Academy, which is
Madam President, I would like to suspend the rules, motion to suspend the rules to speak on this item.
Is that Alderman Rodriguez Sanchez?
Yes, apologies.
Briefly, Alderman.
Okay, thank you, Madam President. I wanted to speak on this item. We have introduced a resolution to condemn the efforts of ICE to bring to our community in Chicago so-called Citizens Academy that in our view pretends to be mostly a vigilante academy. It mentions that it wants to introduce people who take the 6-week training to firearms and targeted arrests. We believe that this is an attempt from the Trump administration to come after our immigrant community, and we cannot allow that. The resolution will be going to the Health and Human Relations Committee, and I'm really hoping that we will be able to get it out quick and we can get full approval from the council to denounce these efforts from President Trump attacking our immigrant community. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman, and I think a number of us, including myself, join you in opposing these so-called citizens academies. Mr. Clerk, please proceed.
Alderman Wagaspack has a proposed ordinance for amendment of Municipal Code Chapter 4-8 by adding new section 4-8-400 to regulate third-party food dispensary application restaurant listings, which is referred to the Committee on Finance. Alderman Wagaspack also has a proposed ordinance for amendment of Municipal Code Section 17-3-503-D by modifying pedestrian retail street segments and coordinates for a portion of North Lincoln Avenue, which is referred to the Committee on Zoning, Landmarks, and Building Standards. Alderman Wagaspack, Alderman Cardenas, and Alderman Nugent have a proposed ordinance for amendment of Municipal Code Chapter 10-32 by adding a new section 10-32-245 to establish Urban Forestry Advisory Board. Two committees having been called, the Committee on Finance and the Committee on Rules. The matter is referred to the Committee on Rules. Alderman Cardona has a proposed ordinance for amendment of Municipal Code Section 4-60-022 to allow additional alcoholic liquor licenses on portion of North Cicero Avenue, which is referred to the Committee on License and Consumer Protection. Alderman Taliaferro has a proposed resolution calling for hearings on oversight, accountability, and reporting of funding of various organizations awarded contracts through violence prevention initiatives, which is referred to the Committee on Public Safety. Alderman Taliaferro and Alderman Burnett have a proposed ordinance for amendment of Municipal Code Title 5 by adding a new chapter 5-25 entitled COVID-19 Chicago Public Health Housing Ordinance, which is referred to the Committee on Housing and Real Estate. Alderman Irvin has a proposed ordinance for amendment of Municipal Code Section 4-60-023 to allow additional package goods licenses on portions of South Pulaski Road, which is referred to the Committee on License and Consumer Protection. Alderman Irvin also has a proposed order for the issuance of a permit for a signboard at 2415 West 19th Street, which is referred to the Committee on Zoning, Landmarks, and Building Standards. Alderman Burnett has a proposed ordinance for amendment of Municipal Code Section 4-60-023 to allow additional package goods licenses on portion of West Division Street, which is referred to the Committee on License and Consumer Protection. Alderman Burnett also has proposed orders for the issuance of permits for signboards, which are referred to the Committee on Zoning, Landmarks, and Building Standards. Alderman Cicho Lopez has a proposed ordinance for amendment of Municipal Code Section 4-60-022 to allow additional alcoholic liquor licenses on portion of West Cermak Road, which is referred to the Committee on License and Consumer Protection. Alderman Cicho Lopez also has a proposed resolution for submission of a public question by referendum to Chicago voters within the 25th Ward at the November 3rd, 2020 election concerning community benefits agreement for development of 10 units or more of housing, diverting Chicago Police Department funds for neighborhood schools, and requiring community meetings before opening new bars and taverns, which is referred to the Committee on Committees and Rules. Alderman Cicho Lopez also has a proposed resolution for submission of public questions by referendum to Chicago voters within certain precincts of the 25th Ward at the November 3rd, 2020 election concerning affordable housing on vacant land, halting of new polluting or diesel generating industries, and redistricting of Pilsen neighborhood, which is referred to the Committee on Committees and Rules. Alderman Cicho Lopez also has a proposed resolution for submission of a public question by referendum to Chicago voters within certain precincts of the 25th Ward at the November 3rd, 2020 election concerning cannabis dispensary, new public high school, and affordable housing for seniors in the Chinatown neighborhood, which is referred to the Committee on Committees and Rules. Alderman Taveras has a proposed ordinance for designation of the 10th precinct of the 23rd Ward as restricted residential zone, prohibiting additional shared housing units and vacation rentals, which is referred to the Committee on License and Consumer Protection. Alderman Taveras also has a proposed ordinance for designation of the 30th precinct of the 23rd Ward as a restricted residential zone, prohibiting additional shared housing units and vacation rentals, which is referred to the Committee on License and Consumer Protection. Alderman Lopez has a proposed ordinance for amendment of Municipal Code Section 2-92-245 to further regulate advance and direct payments to contractors, subcontractors, and minority-owned and women-owned business enterprise participants, which is referred to the Committee on Contracting Oversight and Equity. Alderman Lopez also has a proposed ordinance for amendment of Municipal Code Section 2-92-420 by modifying definition of minority groups within minority-owned and women-owned business enterprise procurement program to include American descendants of slaves, which is referred to the Committee on Contracting Oversight and Equity. Alderman Lopez also has a proposed ordinance for amendment of Municipal Code Section 2-92-670 by modifying definitions of economically disadvantaged and minority within minority-owned and women-owned business enterprise construction program, which is referred to the Committee on Contracting Oversight and Equity. Alderman Cardenas has a proposed ordinance for approval of a plat of Western Center Townhome Subdivision, which is referred to the Committee on Transportation and Public Way. And a proposed resolution to call for Governor J.B. Pritzker to sign multi-state medium and heavy-duty zero-emission vehicle memorandum of understanding, which is referred to the Committee on Environmental Protection and Energy. Alderman Thompson and Alderman Mitchell have a proposed ordinance for amendment of Municipal Code Section 2-92-330 to further regulate enforcement of percentages of city and project area residents' work hours for construction contracts valued at $100,000 or more, which is referred to the Committee on Workforce Development. Alderman Sidlowski Garza has a proposed ordinance for vacation of public ways in the area bounded by East 116th Street, South Mackinac Avenue, East 118th Street, and East Burley Avenue, which is referred to the Committee on Transportation and Public Way. Alderman King has a proposed ordinance for amendment of Municipal Code Chapter 9-68 by adding a new section 9-68-032 to establish seasonal parking permit program for portion of South Oakenwald Avenue, which is referred to the Committee on Pedestrian and Traffic Safety. Alderman King and Alderman Moore have a proposed ordinance for amendment of Municipal Code Section 2-92-450 to require city council approval for reduction or waiver of commitment to minority-owned and women-owned business enterprises, which is referred to the Committee on Contracting Oversight and Equity. Alderman King and Alderman Moore also have a proposed ordinance for amendment of municipal code, section 9-64-430, to modify award goals for all contracts in excess of $10,000 granted to qualified minority-owned and women-owned business enterprises, which is referred to the Committee on Contracting Oversight and Equity. Alderman Dowell has a proposed resolution to call for follow-up hearings to discuss current and future steps for curtailing hazardous and unlawful operation of motorcycles and other motor vehicles on public way, which is referred to the Committee on Public Safety. And Alderman Laspada has a proposed ordinance for amendment of municipal code, section 4-64-206, concerning parking meter hours of operation on portion of North Richmond Street, which is referred to the Committee on Pedestrian and Traffic Safety. Alderman Laspada also has a proposed ordinance for amendment of municipal code, titles 2, 11, and 14A, by modifying various sections and adding new section 2-44-140 concerning preservation of existing affordable and moderate income housing, recycling of construction or demolition site waste, and establishment of environmental impact fees, which is referred to the Committee on Housing and Real Estate. Alderman Laspada also has proposed orders for the issuance of permits for signboards, which are referred to the Committee on Zoning, Landmarks, and Building Standards. Alderman Laspada and others have a proposed resolution to call for the Department of Housing to establish online homeownership opportunity for preservation and education database for owners of 2- and 4-unit buildings, which is referred to the Committee on Housing and Real Estate. Your Honor, that concludes the aldermanic introductions.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Now we move to approval of the journal. Alderman Mitchell.
Madam President, I'm not aware of any corrections to the journal and move that it be approved by the same roll call vote as applied to determine quorum.
Hearing no objections, so ordered. Unfinished business, Alderman Mitchell.
Madam President, I'm not aware of any unfinished business.
Thank you. Miscellaneous business, Alderman Mitchell.
I'm not aware of any miscellaneous business.
Date and time of the next council meeting.
I provided an ordinance to the clerk setting the date and the time of the next city council meeting for Wednesday, September 9th at 10 a.m.
Mr. Clerk, please read the ordinance.
Be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Chicago, Section 1, because an in-person meeting is not practical or prudent due to COVID-19, the next regular meeting of the City Council in accordance with applicable law shall be conducted by video conference on Wednesday, September 9th, 2020, beginning at 10 a.m. and shall provide for remote participation and remote viewing by members of the public if prior to then. The Commissioner of Health issues a written determination that the City Council meeting or City Council can safely proceed with an in-person meeting. The meeting will be held at a location to be determined that can safely accommodate a City Council meeting. Any such written determination will be posted on the City Clerk's website along with an amended meeting agenda, which will include a fixed location by 10 a.m. on Friday, September 4th, 2020. This ordinance shall take effect and be enforced from after its passage.
Madam President, passage in omnibus.
If I may, Alderman Mitchell, just one additional note. Folks, as you know, the next City Council meeting is in early September. It's early in September in deference to the various Jewish high holidays in September. We will urge that the committees do their work in August so that we are ready for passage of any matters at the September meeting. Alderman Mitchell, please proceed.
I move passage in the omnibus.
Hearing no objections, so ordered. Roll call on the omnibus. And again, I remind the Alderman, please make sure that your microphones are unmuted. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Please call the roll.
Okay, Reggie.
Alderman Laspada. Alderman Laspada. Alderman Hopkins.
Aye.
Alderman Dowell.
Here. They told me about it.
Alderman King.
No, I think I meant the man.
Clerk, one moment. Folks, please make sure that you're muted when you're not speaking. There's a lot of background noise that makes it difficult for the clerk to get an accurate count of a roll. Mr. Clerk, please continue.
Alderman King. Alderman King.
Here. Here.
Alderman Hairston.
Yes.
Alderman Sawyer.
Aye.
Alderman Mitchell.
Aye.
Alderman Harris.
Aye.
Alderman Beal.
Yep.
Alderman Sedlowski Garza.
Aye.
Alderman Thompson.
Aye.
Alderman Cardenas.
Aye.
Alderman Quinn.
Aye.
Alderman Burke.
Aye.
Alderman Lopez.
Aye.
Alderman Coleman.
Aye.
Alderman Moore.
Aye.
Alderman Curtis. Alderman Curtis.
Aye.
Alderman O'Shea.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Brookins. Alderman Brookins. Alderman Rodriguez.
Aye. Aye.
Alderman Brookins, are you voting aye? Alderman Rodriguez.
Excuse me, aye.
Alderman Tabares.
Aye.
Alderman Scott.
Aye.
Alderman Cicho Lopez.
Aye.
Alderman Maldonado.
Aye.
Alderman Burnett.
Aye.
Alderman Irvin.
Aye.
Alderman Taliaferro.
Aye.
Alderman Raboyes.
You messed up.
Alderman Raboyes. Alderman Cardona.
Aye.
Alderman Wagispack.
Aye.
Alderman Rodriguez Sanchez.
Aye.
Alderman Austin. Alderman Ramirez Rosa.
Aye.
Alderman Villegas.
Aye.
Alderman Mitz.
Aye.
Alderman Sposato.
Yes.
Alderman Nugent.
Yes.
Alderman Vasquez.
Aye.
Alderman Napolitano.
Aye.
Alderman Riley.
Aye.
Alderman Smith.
Aye.
Alderman Tunney.
Aye.
Alderman Gardner.
Aye.
Alderman Cappleman.
Aye.
Alderman Martin.
Aye.
Alderman Osterman.
Aye.
Alderman Hatton.
Aye.
Alderman Silverstein.
Aye.
Alderman Brookins. Alderman Raboyes.
Aye.
Your Honor, there are 48 yeas, no nays.
Madam President.
Alderman Thompson.
Thank you, Madam President. Motion to reconsider that last vote.
All those in favor of the motion for reconsideration signify by saying aye. All those opposed signify by saying nay.
Nay.
Aye.
Nay.
The noes have it. The motion is for reconsideration is denied. Before we move on for a motion for adjournment, I want to recognize somebody that I know many of you know well, have worked with, and that's Tiffany Sostra. This is her last city council meeting. She'll be moving on to bigger and better things, but we want to say thank you and give her a moment to say goodbye to members of the council.
Bye, everyone. It's been wonderful. I'll miss you.
Special mission.
Don't we get to say any, Mayor, don't we get to say anything? This is Alderman Sposato.
Yes,
No.
the chair recognizes in order Alderman Taylor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Tiffany, where are you? I would just like to say thank you so much for all the work you've done, those late night phone calls, those calls with your baby in the car. I appreciate you putting your time and your energy into working with me, which I'm sure was not easy, but you are definitely going to be missed. You're not going that far away, so I know where to find you.
Thank you, Alderman Taylor. The chair recognizes Alderman Sposato.
Thank you, Madam President. It's nice when the full council could agree on something. So Tiffany, I think we all can agree you're awesome. You're just a pleasure to work with. You're just a sweet gal, and you're always there for me. And whether we're joking around or serious, just really, really appreciate you, and I appreciate your friendship. I wish you nothing but the best. So best wishes to you. God bless you. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. The chair recognizes Alderman Lopez.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for the temporary suspension of the rules to take leave of the body to give Ms. Usher an opportunity to directly speak and have her comments reflected in the record.
I think what we'll do, Alderman Lopez, is let your colleagues speak, and then we'll have Ms. Usher speak at the end.
Then if I may take this opportunity, Tiffany, I've known you for some time in various roles for the council and in the administration, and it's a pleasure to know you professionally and personally. And I wish you and your family all the best and look forward to more baby pictures on Facebook and everything else that we can expect from you. Best of wishes.
Thank you, Alderman. The chair recognizes Alderman Haddon.
Thank you, Madam President. Tiffany, it's been a pleasure getting to know you and work with you. Can't say enough great things. Like Alderwoman Taylor, I'm happy that you're not going far. We know where to reach you. Thank you for all your assistance, and best of luck as you move on.
Thank you, Alderman. The chair recognizes Alderman Vasquez.
Thank you, Madam President. Tiffany, I want to thank you so much as a member that had just got into the council a little bit over a year ago. Really being able to have conversations with you and to be thought partners, even when we don't agree on issues, was really appreciated. It's always throughout all the stuff that we've gone through as a city, to be able to have those conversations has been really crucial, and I appreciate it. I look forward to reaching out to your new role as I reach to try to create dog parks everywhere in the ward. So thank you very much for that.
The chair recognizes Alderman Sposato.
Tiffany, it's just been a pleasure. There are words we don't always get to associate with Chicago government, but you bring such kindness and generosity and warmth to this work, and it stinks that we're going to be losing you. But on a positive note, now we can be Facebook friends, so that'll be great. With everything moving forward.
Thank you, Alderman Sposato. The chair recognizes Alderman Scott.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam President, I too want to echo my colleagues. It has been a pleasure to work with you, Tiffany, and look forward to continuing to work with you in your new role. Like Alderman Taylor, I have had those conversations with you, with your daughter in the background, and you cooking and doing all the things that you need to do as a mother, and still being prepared and doing all the things you have to do for us as council members. And that is greatly appreciated, having 3 kids of my own and knowing how hard it is to juggle. So I definitely appreciate you, appreciate the conversations that we've had, and all that you do on the work on behalf of the city of Chicago. And good luck in your next endeavor. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Alderman Scott. The chair recognizes Alderman Hairston.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Tiffany, I don't know what I'm going to do with my evenings now that I will not be chatting with you or early in the morning. But I really want to say thank you for all of your hard work, your dedication, day or night, cupcakes for your daughter. And it has been a pleasure to work with you. And I know I'm going to see you on the other side. Congratulations.
Thank you, Alderman. The chair recognizes Alderman Smith.
Thank you so much. Tiffany, I have loved working with you since you were in LRB, helping me write some ordinances. You're a great lawyer. And I was so thrilled when you joined the Lightfoot administration in a major role. You have been a tremendous leader, and really best of luck at the Park District, and we'll certainly see you there, and I hope much more than that. So take care, Tiffany. Congratulations.
Thank you, Alderman. The chair recognizes Alderwoman Sadlowski Garza.
Thank you, Madam President. Tiffany, this is with a heavy heart. I don't know. I'm happy that you're going to a new role, but I'm also really sad. You've become my friend, my confidant. at times my rock this past year. And I'm gonna miss you. But don't change your phone number because I'll seek you out. Sorry. Thank you for everything that you've done for everything for the city of Chicago and for the Lightfoot administration, as well as the body. So thank you, Tiffany, and we'll be talking soon, I'm sure.
Thank you, Alderman. The chair recognizes Alderman Napolitano.
Thank you, Madam President. I'll keep it really short. Tiffany, you are simply one of the best. Absolute pleasure to work with. And I am so glad you are not going far and can't wait to work with you in the future. But thanks for sticking around. Take care. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Alderman. The chair recognizes Alderman Wagisback.
Thank you, Madam President. Well, I want to reiterate what my colleague said. Tiffany Sostrin is a person that has the professional credentials that this city needs. It's good to see that she's going over to the Park District, but I know that aldermen and staff will miss her greatly as we look back at the time that she spent in LRB and working her way up to your office and providing the absolute professionalism, the integrity, and the hard work that really makes your office and the operation of working with the aldermen successful. And can't say enough from my staff and the people that we represent about how much we will miss you, but we know that you'll be tough to replace up there, but we appreciate everything that you've done for us over the past year. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman. The chair recognizes Alderman Burnett.
Thank you, Madam President. Tiffany, we've always been impressed and so proud of you. You really rose to the occasion with this job. You know, I got Reggie over here crying right now. He's gonna miss you so much. You've been so helpful to our office over the years. I wish you luck, and we look forward to working with you over at the Park District. Good luck.
Thank you, Alderman. The chair recognizes Alderman Rodriguez Sanchez. We'll move on, and the chair recognizes Alderman Irvin.
Tiffany. Oh, what fun we had. I would really want to congratulate you on everything that you've done, the help that you've provided from your days, even back at LRB. I've always been helpful to residents of the 28th Ward and your thoughtfulness and everything that you've done up and through the day. And we look forward to working with you over at the Park District. I may not need a bunch of dog parks, but I do need a new park in West Garfield Park. So please help us in that endeavor. Thank you. God bless you and the best of luck.
Thank you, Alderman. The chair recognizes Alderman Dow.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I hope I can get through this, Tiffany. I think you have really blossomed in your role. And I'm glad the mayor tapped you for IGA. And I wish you the best going over to the Park District. The fact that you're going over there shows the confidence that people have in you. You're thoughtful, you're dedicated and straightforward. And on behalf of Renee, Brian, and James and I, we thank you for the encouragement that we were uncomfortable with. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair, President.
Thank you, Chairman Dow. The chair recognizes Alderman Harris.
Thank you. Tiffany, my other little baby, I call you my little daughter. I'm so proud of you. It's been wonderful working with you. You have, like Alderman Dow mentioned, you have just blossomed in this job, and you're going to do great things, and you're going to be all right wherever you go, but you will be missed here. I will miss that sunshine in your voice when you pick up the phone and call about issues. So God bless you. I'll miss again hearing the baby and asking how how she's doing in our conversations, but now I'll call you late at night and ask about her. So thank you, Tiffany. You are awesome.
Thank you. The chair recognizes Alderman King.
Thank you, Madam President. And, thank you for allowing her to have her flowers because I think so many people appreciate you, Tiffany. I remember when you were in LRB and I just used to walk in and talk to you when I was new, and you were very humble and very nice then. And what I appreciated when you came to your new role in IGA is you remained very humble. I appreciate your honesty, your directness, even especially when on difficult issues. I just remember what my mother always said, it's not what you say, but how you say it. And I think, even though there are times where there may have been disagreements on issues, you were always very, positive, I think, in your energy and how you got it across. So I will miss you in this role, but will look forward to you being in your new role and wish you all the best with you and your family.
Thank you, Alderman. The chair recognizes Alderman Curtis.
Thank you, Madam President. And I'm sorry I have to be childish about this, but Tiffany, I told you, we talked about you leaving. I don't want you to leave, but congratulations anyway. You well deserved it. See you on the other side. Thank you so much, Madam President.
Thank you, Alderman Curtis. The chair recognizes Alderman Sigcho Lopez.
Sorry. Thank you, Madam Chair. And I just want to thank you, Tiffany. I think is and congratulations. I think it's always good to have genuine people, especially us as freshman aldermen. Always find you to be always very respectful and helpful. I think what the testimonies are a clear evidence of the work that you do. So, definitely going to miss you, and thank you for all you, for helping us transition in this new role. Thank you again, Tiffany.
Thank you, Alderman. The chair recognizes Alderman Osterman.
Thank you, Madam President. Tiffany, I just want to congratulate you, wish you all the best at the Park District. Really want to thank you for your leadership over the last few months. I think we're doing this tribute via Zoom, and I think you might have set up the first Zoom call with some of the aldermen. So I just wish you and your family all the best, and I will take Alderman Irvin's dog parks.
Thank you, Alderman. The chair recognizes Alderman Rodriguez.
Tiffany, congratulations on your next step. I'm really going to miss the conversations, the late night conversations or the early evening conversations where both our kids are yelling in the background. That was always fun. But keep on representing CLA well, and we'll see you at the Park District.
Thank you, Alderman. The chair recognizes Alderman Riley.
Thank you, Madam President. I wanted to also congratulate Tiffany on her next big step in her career. Like a few people around here, I've had the pleasure of working in and around government for 25 years or so, and I've been fortunate to work with a lot of very talented people. And I can tell you, you're towards the top of that list. You're a great lawyer. You have incredible talent and a great diplomatic way about you that I think has served our mayor very well. So I'm going to be sad to see you go. I'll miss you. I'm sure there's some headaches around here you won't miss so much. My advice is do change your cell phone number as soon as humanly possible. I won't share your other cell phone number with anybody. But congratulations and great luck at the Chicago Park District. They're very lucky to be getting you. And the members of my office will also miss you very much. You have a lot of love and respect coming out of the 42nd Ward office as well. So that's to you, Tiffany, and I know we'll see you soon.
Thank you, Madam
Thank you,
President.
Alderman. The chair recognizes Alderman Martin.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Tiffany, I just wanted to say, in addition to congratulations, thank you. When I started a year ago, I had very little experience and exposure to city government, and I truly valued your time and your candor and your insights as I was learning and getting up and running. And as I reflect on being in office a little bit more than a year and knowing how much of that's been consumed by COVID and the sort of instrumental role you've played in literally helping to keep our government functioning, it's that work has been invaluable because the city, we feel the pain, the struggle, the desires of folks firsthand. We've got our fingers on the pulse of our community. And so the ways in which you've been instrumental to help us serve Chicagoans and sometimes their moments of greatest despair is, I hope, something that you can look back on and really treasure, because it's a real privilege serving the people here, and it's been a privilege working with you. Take care. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Alderman. The chair recognizes Alderman Gardner.
Thank you, Madam President. Tiffany, it wasn't that long ago when you almost fainted in the chamber and you had to resurrect my EMT skills from the fire department. And although I was a little rusty, you were very patient and kind with me, and I appreciate that. Thank you for your service to the city, and I look forward to continuing our friendship. And I wish you all the best in your future endeavors.
Thank you, Alderman. The chair recognizes Alderman Coleman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. You all know her as Tiffany, but I know her as Jessica Pearson of the mayor's administration. It's the insider, and you all will never understand because I am Jessica's favorite alderman. As I look at you welting, I'm reminded of this little beautiful face tearing up. But you believed in me, what I was passionate about, and you supported me, so thank you. I'm so excited about your future. I too do not need any dog parks. However, I know you will be helpful in getting that elementary school size gym at Moran Park, as the mayor and I have discussed in this last year. So congratulations, Tiffany. I'm so excited about your future. Keep that smile because it is so contagious. I love you.
Thank you, Alderman Coleman. The chair recognizes Alderman Mitz.
Thank you, Tiffany. I want to also commend you on your promotion. It's been exciting to have worked with you over the years. I do remember a license committee meeting, and I tell you, I'm sure you've gotten stronger since then, and having just worked in the council, have prepared you for your endeavors that you're moving toward now. So on behalf of my staff and 37 Ward, we really appreciate you. You were mentored by some great teammates there, and there's some that's working with you going to be just fine as well. So congratulations. Looking forward to seeing you around real soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman. The chair recognizes Alderman Taliaferro.
Thank you, Madam President. Tiffany, let me just take this second to say congratulations. I know you'll exceed the expectations of the Chicago Park District, but I also want to thank you so much for not only guiding me, but guiding a lot of my colleagues through some very difficult ordinances and resolutions that we voted on. And thank you so much. You've been a great asset to this administration and the past administration as well. Good luck in your future endeavors, and the Park District has stolen a gem from us. Thank you. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Alderman. The chair recognizes Alderman Moore.
I was hesitant to say anything because when she started working for the mayor's office, she got a little high and mighty and stopped giving me chocolates that she used to give me in our LRB. So now I've gotten skinny. And so that's a problem. And then two is that the fact that people saying she's not going far and I'm progressing on new positions. I am just as active over in the Park District. So this is nowhere near goodbye. We'll be seeing still a lot of each other. So, but I'm just excited about your future. And I will say this though, because everybody don't have this gift. When working for someone like a great leader, like the mayor, or if anyone else you work, but definitely under this mayor, you learn loyalty, but yet you learn how not to be a pushy person. You listened, you found a balance, and I can appreciate that about you. And everybody don't have that gift, and keep that with you. Always doing the right thing, but also have a sense of loyalty, and you got to have that balance. And you were able to, you've learned to master that. I saw that, and so I wish you well. And I'll be seeing you. So we got work to do over at the parks.
Thank you, Alderman. The chair recognizes Alderman Cappleman.
Thank you, Madam President. Tiffany, you had a tough job that you handled with such grace, and it's so much appreciated. I will still be seeing you. We had the Clarendon Park Community Center, which is going to take a lot of rehab that's going to be underway, and so I can't wait to see you more, but virtual hug. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Alderman. The chair recognizes Alderman Nugent.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Tiffany, on behalf of the 39th Ward, we just want to thank you for your commitment to the city, to our residents. It's been a real pleasure to work with you. I think that we're all better off for being your friend and getting to know more about you and your family. And I expect good things. I know good things are going to come from your next role. Don't be a stranger, and best of luck. Thank you, Madam Chair.
The chair recognizes Alderman Hopkins.
Thank you, Madam President. Tiffany, you've done an outstanding job. You are such a valuable member of the team, and that goes for any team you happen to be on. Our loss is clearly the Park District's gain, but you've worked hard, you've earned your success, and I have no doubt more good success is coming your way in the future. Best of luck.
Thank you, Alderman. The chair recognizes Alderman Arboyos.
Thank you, Madam President. Tiffany, although you and I didn't speak a lot, but we spoke on several issues, and we got along real well. I remember you in prior years sitting in council and committee meetings, very engaged, very quiet, taking notes. I knew there was something there, and I think we all know that, as we just heard. But I just want to wish you well. You're going places, so I congratulate you. And somebody just said you're going to the parks, but it also helps city council in many ways, because we have someone we can talk to, an additional person at the Park District. God bless you, and go get them. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Alderman. The chair recognizes Alderman Cardano.
Thank you, Madam President. Tiffany, what can I say? I'm one of your favorite aldermen like you. And I'm gonna miss our talks, our conversations, but I know you're going to be doing a great job at the Park District. I'm going to miss you, and thank you for helping me in my first year and my residents of 31st Ward. Thank you so much, and God bless.
Thank you, Alderman. The chair recognizes Alderman Silverstein. You're on mute. There you go. Yep.
Okay. Tiffany, congratulations. I'm so happy for you. Thank you so much for all of your help. I've really enjoyed working with you, and I want to just wish you all the very best. And I'm glad you're not going too far away. And we will definitely be in touch. Take care and congratulations. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. And last but not least, probably the person who will ultimately miss Tiffany the most is our great clerk, Anna Valencia. Madam Clerk.
Hey, Tiffany, I just wanted to, I know this job. I've been on the 5th floor before and know what it takes and what it takes out of you. So first, thank you so much for your great service to our city and to the mayor. I know she's leaned on you a lot, and you were very helpful in her first year, which is very important. And as seeing another young woman of color and a mama to a young baby girl, I just really appreciate the woman warrior that you are. And I know that you're going to do great at the parks. We're going to miss you here at the clerk's office. And you were always very good at keeping us in the loop. I know sometimes we can be forgotten a little bit as not being aldermen, but I just wanted to say thank you and well wishes to you and your family. I'm sure your husband, your baby are excited to get a little bit of your time back. And I will still see you around.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I would just say on behalf of myself and your colleagues, job well done. You've been with us since the transition. You worked your tail off. And as attested by the members of this great body, nights, weekends, mornings, you've done it all. We are definitely going to miss you, but I want to thank you publicly for your tremendous contributions to us and to me over the course of this next year. We wish you nothing but success. And I think as the clerk said, and we're grateful that you'll get a little bit of your time back for yourself and your family. Thank you very much. And we'll have a private moment with the team, but thank you. Alderman Lopez, do you renew your motion to grant Ms. Sastrin the privilege of addressing this body?
Yes, Madam President, I renew my motion to take leave of the body to allow Tiffany the opportunity to address the City Council.
Hearing no objection, so ordered. Tiffany, the floor is yours.
Well, I could have never imagined that I would be sitting in the mayor's chair now addressing the City Council of Chicago. This has been an honor from beginning to end. I think each and every alderman, past and current, for your friendship, your honesty, your respect, your leadership. I have loved working here and I'll continue to love working for the City of Chicago. I'm tearing up a little bit, but I'm not gonna cry in front of the world. But I also wanna thank you, Mayor, for giving me a chance to do this. This was a job that I actually thought I would love to do that job, but there's no way that they would take a chance on me, and yet here I am. So thank you all so much. I'm really emotional, and thank you to my team that has been fantastic, and I love everybody, so thank you.
Congrats, yay.
Yay. Are you, Tiffany? Yay, Tiffany.
Go, 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 Tiffany.
Go, girl.
Go, Tiffany.
Go, girl.
All right. Alderman Mitchell, is a motion to adjourn.
Yes.
There being no further business before the body, I move that we adjourn by the same roll call vote as applied to determine quorum.
Hearing no objection, so ordered. The motion is carried. The council is adjourned.